Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. I'm still getting my title together. Nancy G's update, Harry and Meghan's, neighbors. Okay, Andrew's lies. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. I'm going to play the Mimi song. Let's see here. Just a sec. I'm trying to fix. Where's that and button? Here it is. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. Justin Bieber. We just have a big lineup today. There we go. All right, guys. We got Nancy's daughter. That might be a tearjerker. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. So we have Justin Bieber upset with Usher. I would like for us to go over that. That would be great. Welcome in. Welcome to the Mimi Show. Let's play the song.
It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh. 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 Yeah. Yeah. It is the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, it's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 yeah. The Mimi Show is the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Mimi Show is the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Mimi Show. Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Yeah. Yeah. It's the Mimi Show, the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show, the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, it's the Mimi Show, the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show, the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 yeah. The Mimi Show is the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Mimi Show is the Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 oh. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Oh, 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 yeah.
Welcome everyone. Come on in. It's going to be a great show for you today that I have lined up. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to move straight into Justin Bieber. He is talking about Usher and how Usher messed up his childhood by connecting him with some shady people when he was younger and just a young man. He wasn't even a young man then. He was like not even a teenager. He was very, very young. And this is when he handed him off, Usher handed him off to Diddy. And you can't tell me that Usher didn't see some things while in the presence of Diddy. You know, the demand, the women, just the overall environment that Diddy would have these young men in. They shouldn't. No, he's not a role model. Let's just put that out there real quick. So let's see how much information they're going to give us about Justin Bieber and Usher, because I saw Justin Bieber and Usher having words the other day.
Traumatizing situations. Usher's the one who thought it'd be a great idea for Diddy to groom Justin because
he starts off saying that he's upset with Usher for putting him in compromising positions, which was one of them was being with Diddy. Not with him, but mentoring him, being his mentor, I should say.
Diddy did the same thing to Usher. It was also Usher's great idea to partner with Scooter Braun to control Justin's every move. And when Justin stopped listening to his handlers, his feud with Usher began. This is the real reason that Justin Bieber and Usher got into a fight at Beyonce's party. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what happened between Justin Bieber and Usher at Beyonce's Oscars after party. Every year after the Oscar ceremony, Beyonce and Jay-Z throw their gold party at the Chateau Marmont, and they invite a bunch of A-listers. This time, Usher and Justin were in attendance. Remember, they have some history together, and it looks like
Hi,
some people
Lisa.
witnessed a fight. One person reported that they saw some fists being thrown, and honestly, I'm not surprised because Justin has good reason to dislike Usher. Usher pretty much, in my opinion, groomed him, and I feel like if Justin knew that Usher was going to be at this party, he probably wouldn't have arrived because Justin doesn't like to put himself in these uncomfortable situations. I mean, look at the look on his face. Sources connected to Justin report that
Yes,
Usher
it
came to
looks
Justin
like
at the
it's
party
just
with
me and you,
energy and
Lisa
anger,
B.
and the two got into a heated exchange. Now, the Bieber sources claim that there was no physical contact, but it was intense. It looks like Usher's team has nothing to say about the incident, but another source connected to Justin said that Justin's always been rude to Usher. In more recent years, Justin's been trying to clean house, get rid of a bunch of old managers and people who were holding him back, and other celebrities who were not good for him. And it seems like Usher was one of those people. We don't know exactly what they were arguing about in this moment, but a lot of celebrities witnessed this fight.
All know Usher and Scooter Braun are the ones that signed a very young Justin Bieber. I'm not gonna lie, I can't help but think back when all of this was happening in early 2025, when a lot of us thought that Justin Bieber was very much struggling mentally, and we saw him removing himself from everybody in his past. The only thing that was ever really reported is that Justin Bieber might have had some money that came up missing over a period of time, and he finally realized it. The reason why I found those reports so interesting is the fact that at the same time he was deleting Usher, Scooter Braun, and everybody from his life when he was younger, he also fired his business manager, Lou Taylor of TriStar.
This person writes that this is so sad to see. Usher literally discovered him. To go from somebody to love to an intense altercation at Beyonce and Jay-Z's party is wild. The industry really changes people. Well, it's true. Usher is the one who put Justin Bieber on the scene. In 2014, Usher said that success comes with a price. Every person that has grown up grows through something. It ain't just perfect from the beginning. Saying that, you know what, Justin's going to go through these hardships. It's part of the game that he signed up for. This person on Reddit wrote, I mean, whatever demons Justin is fighting from his past, Usher was part of that story. We don't know what the hell happened, but we can see Justin is a damaged soul. I don't blame Justin for wanting nothing to do with him. Basically, like a father and son argument happening in front of Beyonce, this person writes. This person clarified, though, that they didn't just hang out. Justin was signed to a joint venture deal with Scooter and Usher, so whatever is going on is almost certainly to do with business. Perhaps Justin has opened his eyes about Usher's role in his exploitation as a child. He could definitely be some kind of trigger for him. He has left his old team behind for a reason. This person writes that their beef is about Justin selling his catalog and cutting Usher out of millions. Remember, Justin did sell his catalog for like $200 million, and if Scooter and Usher's name were attached to that, that could be a reason. Remember, both Justin Bieber and Usher were both the prodigies of Sean Diddy Combs. Remember, Usher was the one who brought a 15-year-old Justin to Diddy's home to spend 48 hours with him. At the time, Diddy said that I've been given custody of him. He signed to Usher, and I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album, which is true because Usher was too young. So it looks like Diddy came in and took guardianship over him so that they could go and work together even further and to avoid school and rules and things like that. He said, I don't have a legal guardianship of Justin, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me and we're going to go full crazy.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did.
And Justin had
This, it just sounds, it don't even sound good. It doesn't sound like a match made in heaven. Diddy and Bieber, the mentorship is not mentoring here. Shouldn't have been in his care, and Usher shouldn't have put him in that situation, because did he not know? Are we giving Usher a sweep under the rug, Lisa B? Because maybe he didn't know that Diddy was going to expose him to things he shouldn't be exposed to. No, Justin had to lead a very adult life early on. Yes, he had to grow up quickly and fast. He didn't have he didn't have like a normal childhood. He was a teenage star. Hello, CC. Welcome. Hola, Lady Letitia. Hola, CC. It's me and Lisa, CC. And now you and the people in the bushes. People in the bushes, please hit that subscribe button and that like button if you don't mind while you're watching this show. I promise you're going to have a wonderful time. Yes. So hit that subscribe button. I'm almost at 650. Okay? I'm almost at 650. Let's see if we can get to 6,500 subscribers today. You think you guys can push me over the threshold? Yeah, everybody was looking up to Diddy at that time, Lisa. People thought he was a mentor, thought he did have things to offer young men like Justin Bieber. But come to find out, he was this predatorial. He's not good at mentoring kids. He's not good at any of that stuff. I know, I feel like I dreamed about water too. The Titanic. Yep, they keep sweeping things under the rug, Lisa B. Hello, Demon Dictator. Welcome.
So much hope in his eyes in this clip.
First album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next
He
48 hours,
does.
he's with me. So and yeah, and we're gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
I'd love to know what Diddy thinks a 15-year-old's dream is and
Right.
what going crazy looks like. There's also that video of Diddy asking a
How does he know what dreams Justin Bieber have and what do they look like? Did you ask him? And he did. And Justin Bieber said girls, and I don't know why he said that. And Diddy was no good for these boys. None whatsoever. Unfortunately, he would have been able to teach them something if he was on the up and
then
up.
16-year-old Justin Bieber, why he had not been calling him back and hanging out like they used to. You can see that Justin is completely stressed and anxious in this moment, having this
Look at
interaction with
this.
Diddy. It's like he was avoiding him on purpose, and then when he was confronted by this man, he was completely shocked because he did not know how to control the situation.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot, but you never really got my number, so.
Correct.
He does not sound like he wants to hang out with P. Diddy anymore. You can tell he's got his excuses going on. He said, I don't have your phone number, and that's why I haven't been able to get in contact with you. But the point of the matter is that he is accessible to Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber is accessible to P. Diddy. He just doesn't want to have a connection with Diddy. Lisa B says, I would have never left my kid with anyone, especially a music industry. Even the parents get starstruck. I know. And you know what? Having this podcast really is teaching me some things, not to leave little bit alone with strangers just because they say there are professionals. No. What are you doing? Where are you taking my baby? What are you guys going to be discussing? And so on. Let me turn on the air. It's hot. So he's nervous. Justin Bieber is extremely nervous. You can tell he's looking down, not giving him eye contact. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be a part of Diddy's world. And he's experienced it for 48 hours. He doesn't want to do it anymore. You could tell. Hello, Demon Dictator. You can tell by the way he's looking down, looking around, making excuses as to why they haven't connected and hung out in a while. No, honey. You know what? Anything would work. I'm starting to feel that. Okay, thank you, sweet pea. Okay, you're gonna get me a cute
I'm gonna get you a
cup.
press cup.
Okay.
Press cup.
My husband's gonna make me a cup of coffee instead of going to get me some from Starbucks. So we'll see how it turns out. See if it's drinkable, and give him an opportunity to show me what his skills he's got going on. Hola, hubby, says CC.
Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
My number.
Yeah.
When Usher was 15 years old, his manager, L.A. Reid, sent him to Los Angeles to spend a year to live with Diddy in what was described as
What?
puffy flavor camp. Usher said that it was pretty wild. It was crazy. There were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it. He also said that he would never send his own children there, which is interesting because he sent Justin there, and he knows what probably happened to Justin because it happened to him.
Yeah, you wouldn't send your kids there, but you would send Justin. Do you regret sending Justin? I mean, does that make sense to you? I mean, I know it doesn't make sense, but how horrible is that for someone to be that selfish or that oblivious or not paying attention, or I don't know what you want to call it, but he was old enough to know that it wasn't a good idea for him to be connecting Justin Bieber and Diddy together. If he had a wild situation going on with Diddy, why wouldn't he think that Justin Bieber would have a wild situation going on with Diddy? But he even said it. He said it in his own words that he would not let his own kids hang out with Diddy. Your character is looking a little shady, Usher. A little shade. A little shady, dude.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Usher talking about Puffy Flavor Camp on the Howard Stern Show.
Puffy Flavor Camp.
For a year. That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
Also, keep in mind that L.A. Reid has his own allegations, his own past. We've talked about him before.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13.
Curious almost sounds like, wait, what do you mean curious? Like a little LGBT kind of?
Yeah, I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't
So maybe not a woman, but maybe Diddy.
necessarily understand.
And your parents were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige, they didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
You stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
What a like toxic life is what it seems like. He's just a kid in this situation.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Going back to Justin, last year at the beginning of 2025, Justin actually unfollowed Usher. At the time, Justin was unfollowing a lot of people, cleaning house, Scooter Braun, his former manager, a bunch of people who were connected to Scooter, and of course, Usher. This person writes that this is really interesting. I wonder when it's all going to be revealed what's going on. Maybe Justin wants to distance himself from people in his past who treated him poorly. This person writes, well, if he blocked Scooter, it only makes sense to cut ties with Usher as well. They both controlled his career. If something is brewing, it doesn't look like he's going to spare anyone he feels wronged him. Make no mistake, this man is purging. Hope he's getting the help and support along the way. Breaking away from that scene and sobering up to fatherhood, I imagine has opened his eyes to a lot that he overlooked. Another person says that Justin blocked everyone who could have protected him from Diddy, but didn't. This person pointed out that Usher is a weirdo, and this person replied, it's so weird how the internet has scrubbed some of the disgusting things he's done.
If you think about it, Usher could have prevented anything happening to Justin Bieber experiencing this adult lifestyle that Diddy is having is not good for kids. And Usher knew that. And he even said he would never send his kids to Diddy's camp, but you would send Usher. That's how much you thought of him or think of him. Part of the sacrifice requirement, says CC, satanic rituals, and ways to get famous in the hands of the witches and devils.
At one point, there was a lawsuit against him that he was sleeping with women and purposely giving them STDs. I'm assuming he settled that lawsuit because it all just went away. I guess we're not going to be seeing Usher at Justin Bieber's Coachella show because in 2024, when Usher performed at the Super Bowl, it looks like Justin declined his invitation to go and perform along with him. This source claims that Justin wasn't feeling it. He did not feel like sharing the stage with Usher at the Super Bowl. A music industry source said that there's no bad blood between Usher and Justin, at least back in 2024. Just Justin wasn't up for it. He wasn't feeling it. Well, that's a nice way of saying, hey, yeah, I don't like him. I don't want to perform with him, because who doesn't want to do the Super Bowl? It's the most viewed show ever, unless Justin's just like holding out for the day where he performs there. Usher did his best to try to beg Justin to come on. He wanted to create a moment that paid tribute to their history together.
Blind items have alleged for years now that Justin Bieber has been abused by many men in the industry, including Usher. And according to this new blind item, Justin Bieber is planning on taking Usher down. Everything this video is alleged, not confirmation of validity of allegations. The North of the Border singer is going to take the one-named permanent A-list singer down. This is going to be brutal. And again, this is allegedly Justin Bieber and Usher.
The last time that Usher spoke about Justin Bieber publicly, it was on Charlemagne the God's podcast, and he said that there's no bad blood between them, that they were planning on possibly working in the future, but this was right before Justin hit him with that unfollow.
Why didn't things work out with Justin Bieber?
You know what? They did work out with Justin. You know, I honor and recognize that my brother, you know, you know, I think that it might have been the fact that he was just, you know, wanting to tell a different story, right?
Well, okay, keep in mind that this is like what, February 2024. So Justin was kind of in the thick of people being concerned about him and his well-being. He was starting to disconnect away from his previous label and that old team. So at this point, I feel like he was kind of doing the opposite of what Hollywood wanted him to do. And when that happens, you kind of have like the Shia LaBeouf treatment. You start getting on blast. You see these video clips, these horrible headlines, and it's because they are trying to force him to do what they want him to. And in this time period, it seems like Usher was on the wrong side of things. And ultimately, Justin was able to get through and disconnect himself from all the demons here. And I'm not surprised if he is considering Usher one of those bad people.
I understand that. But we did have a brief conversation, and you know, we're going to do something else in the future. But there's no love lost or anything like that. I think that it's a lot of pressure for the Super Bowl, obviously, for me to put together a show. So I reached out to everybody. Justin wasn't the only person that I actually spoke to about doing the Super Bowl. But the moment was maybe for later. He's going to play the Super Bowl. I'll go ahead and give you that in the future. I profess that over his life, you know, over his time, because he has a career that deserves it. But it just didn't happen. But that doesn't mean it's not going to.
Whatever reason that Justin has for disconnecting himself from Usher, I think that he's completely valid for that, and he should be respected for it. Maybe, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z should have thought about inviting maybe Justin or Usher, but not both at the same time. But I want to hear what you guys think of
out. Attention, everyone. Attention, attention. Red alert, red alert. Polo has come to town. Yes, he has. And he deserves a whole song. So I'm going to try to beatbox for you, Polo. Polo. Thank you, Polo. Polo. Thank you, Polo. Polo, Polo, Polo. Thank you, Polo. Polo's porch. Thank you, Polo. Polo's porch just gave me a super chat, a super sticker. Thank you so much. Polo's porch. Let's put some hearts and some fanadoos in the chat for Polo's porch. Let's give it up for Polo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sweetie, for my wonderful super chat. Honey bun. Please give it up for Polo. Give him some fanadoos in the chat for me. Thank you, Lisa B. And thank you, Polo. Mwah. Big fat kiss to you.
This feud in the comments below. I do think that Justin is like kind of a force to be reckoned with ever since the Diddy stuff and
where my fans
standing up against Scooter Braun and Usher. I just would not want to get on his bad side. But what do you guys think in the comments below? I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.
All right, we're going to move on to Nancy. Savannah, her daughter is speaking out. And she was on the Morning Today show, I believe. So we're going to watch a little bit of that. It may make you a little sad. So trigger warning on
Regarding
that.
Andrew, I think he should be treated like anybody else. If this was like
Meghan's manipulation. All right, let's see. Where is it? Why am I not getting my stuff? Okay, here we go. Okay, Nancy. Let's do the Today Show. Breaking Savannah Smith's Nancy Guthrie. No. Susanna Guthrie. Where did it go? Here it is. All right, here we go. Now, I know we all have been worried about Nancy.
regarding Andrew, I think he should be treated.
And hope that she comes home soon. But it's looking a little grim. It's looking a little grim. For some odd reason, my playlist is acting weird. So it's taking me longer than it should to pull up a video.
And plan to
So
reach a
bear
total.
with me.
Take me back to the day. It was, I guess.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to listen to a little bit of this. Okay. And hello, Lake Erie. And it's trigger warning, trigger. Let me put in my trigger. And let's go.
It's a normal weekend for you.
Yeah.
The weekend your mom went missing. Tell me what you were doing and what happened.
Well, I had given Mike for Christmas a boys trip to go play tennis. And so he had been gone for the weekend. So I took my kids actually to Carson's. So we had a beautiful, fun night together. And then I came home and really just got home at the same time that Mike came home. We were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me and I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "No." She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What? What are you talking about?" She said, "She's gone." And she was in a panic. I was in a panic. I'm like, "Call 911." She's like, "I did. We called them. They're here."
And we thought I'm going to give it at least
that
15
she must have had
minutes
like some kind of medical episode in the night, and that somehow, the paramedics had come.
Sorry, my husband made me a cup of coffee. Look, I ordered him a cup with my face on it. I had my hair like this during that time. Yep. This is an old picture. I got it for him for work. So people, who was that? My wife. It's good.
You like it?
You like my cup? You put some whipped cream in there.
Because the back doors were propped open, you know, and that didn't make any sense. We thought maybe they came and there was a stretcher and they took her out the back, but her phone was there and her purse was there and all her things, and it just didn't make any sense. So, you know, Annie and Tommy had already called all the hospitals, but then I'm like, I'm going to call the hospital. So then I started calling the hospitals, and the police were there and talking to her at the same time, and it was just chaos and disbelief.
Within hours, Savannah was making the long journey home to Tucson. You saw Annie and Cam when you got to their house. Tell me about that moment.
Just disbelief and hugging each other. And I think we were on the phone with the sheriff and trying to, you know, really make clear from the very early moments, you know, Annie and Tommy were saying this isn't that case that you are used to where someone wanders off. She can't wander off. My mom, she was in tremendous pain. Her back was very bad. You know, she was trying to, on a good day, she could walk down to the mailbox and get the mail, but most days not. So there was no wander off. And the doors were propped open. Yeah. And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been yanked.
See, and she wasn't really mobile. Like, she had to have help to get around. She couldn't walk in long distance without probably a cane or a walker or a wheelchair. And so whoever took her had to. Hi, AT2. Yes. Welcome. I'm going to drop the link just in case. How are you doing? Are you getting ready for your meet and greet? AT2 is having a meet and greet for his subscribers. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be in Vegas. How do you not love that situation? Yep. That's going to be fun. Hello, Mary. Wow. Hello, Lisa. So good to see you. Yes. Welcome. Welcome to the Mimi Show. Yeah, Nancy is still missing, and her daughter is speaking out for the first time in a long time about the situation. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out with me. Want to know what's going on with these stories? We don't know where Nancy is. We don't know what's going on. It has gone cold. They're not even reporting on it as much as they should anymore. She's still in, she's still being talked about, but it just feels like her path has gone cold.
Yeah. And so we were saying, this is
do something.
This is not okay. Yeah. This isn't, something is very wrong here.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about what possibly could have happened? Like, what could have happened? What went down?
I think my brother, my siblings are so amazing.
It tastes like hot chocolate.
My brother, he spent his career in the military and worked in intelligence and is a fighter pilot and is brilliant. And he saw very clearly right away what this was. Yeah. And even on the phone, when I called him, he knew. And he said, I think she's been kidnapped for ransom. And I said, yeah. What? Well, why? What? And then, it sounds so like, how dumb could I be? But I didn't want to believe. I just said, do you think because of me? And he said, I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe. But I knew that.
You did?
I hope not. I mean, we still don't know. Honestly, we don't know anything.
No.
We don't know anything. So I don't know that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that lady has money, we can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is
Hi, Carl.
too much to bear. To think that I brought this to her bedside, that it's because of me. And I just say, I'm so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to my sister and my brother and my kids and my nephew and Tommy and my brother-in-law. I'm like, so sorry. I'm so sorry. If it is me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm on mute. It makes no sense whatsoever that an 80-year-old just disappeared off the earth. That they can't find her. It makes no sense, Lisa. It's very frustrating. My cup. I got for my husband, just for the new people that just came in. How do you lose? An 80-year-old woman just disappears. There's not a trace. It's gone cold as ice. All that activity that was going on, the backpack, the gloves, there was a glove, the blood, like something's up. And the sheriff, he acted like he was totally incompetent. He acted like he didn't know his left from his right. Like Polo has said, the case has been frozen. Frozen, solid. Look at her. She's gonna have to go on back to work and work through it because she can't stay at home like that. I wouldn't be able to. I would have to go back to work. But she's having a hard time. She can't even talk without crying. You know what I'm saying? Like she's going through trauma. Real life trauma. Can you imagine Nancy in her home and then some stranger comes there and then removes her out of her home and does God knows what to her? Like, it pisses you off because how dare you put your hands on me? How dare you touch me? How dare you come in my house? How dare you do this to me? How dare you violate my privacy? How dare you do this? They need to find these people. They really, really do. And the sheriff, to me, is not, he's like, I'm not going to divulge that information. And it's like, why not? I know there's some things you can't talk about, but you haven't even said that you had a lead, a prospect. This internet sloth can find her. Yep. turn all evidence over to the internet. We'll find her. We'll find it. Give us the clues. We'll find Nancy. The psychic already said that they may know where she's at. Yeah, she can't even talk.
We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom.
In the initial days, you and your sister and brother sat together. In all the despair, you sat and managed to think of words to say. How were you able to do
The
that
sheriff ain't sheriff.
in that moment?
Well, my siblings are amazing.
The sheriff ain't sheriffing. Okay? He is not doing his job. They need to reassign, regroup, you know. Oh, thanks, honey.
I'll bring it in here.
Put it right there.
And you just gotta make I'm away right now.
Okay,
And
you
can
are?
turn me green in about 15 minutes.
Turn you back to available?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. Can you move it? Yeah, there you go. And you just do that little arrow there.
Right here? You're away.
Yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I've got. I just told everybody I'm on break.
Oh, you're on break.
Yeah, about 15 minutes. You can make it.
Okay. Eric's on break. He's going to go get me a coffee.
You want a roll too?
A cheese Danish?
Yeah. I might get one.
Well, if you get one, can we just split it?
Yeah.
I usually eat it up. I'll be like, let's split it. And I usually eat it up. Anyway, the sheriff ain't sheriffing. Nick. Nancy ain't nowhere to be found. It's frozen. This case is.
And we are a unit. And I talked about how brilliant my brother is, but my sister is equally brilliant and also has special powers of intuition and faith and language and depth and heart. And I feel like we came together with all these beautiful gifts that came from our mom and dad and from God. And somehow together we did our best to come up with the words to say. And I haven't posted one thing or said one thing that the three of us haven't decided together. It is surreal. It's how is it possible that we are having to make a video speaking to a kidnapper who took an 84-year-old woman.
What a coward.
In the dead of night.
What a coward. What a coward. What a horrible person he is to take her from her home. And then there's nothing. You know, how dare you take her and then don't let the family know what's going on. Just people are ruthless. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen these days. She was out there in Tucson doing her thing, you know, minding her business. This wasn't random. This was planned. This was premeditated. This was an inside job, I think. I think so. We know something's up. It's like something out of a movie. Something out of a movie, like we're watching a movie and we're watching the evidence and the mystery continues. And the mystery continues. Unbelievable. Disappeared. Took her out of her bed at the dead of night. This 84-year-old mother. Shaquille O'Neal is the sheriff in Georgia. That's interesting, Polo. Yes, he would have did a better job. My puppy would have did a better job than that. Shoot. You know, just watch that whole thing up. The first 48. He's only been on the force or in this position that he's currently in for 2 years. That right there makes me, not that you can't do a job just because you're a veteran. He did a lot of things wrong. Okay, thank you, CC. I appreciate that. Yeah. What happened to the ransom notes? What happened to the people that had the ransom notes? Did they question them? That is a good question, Lisa. Where's the freaking ransom notes? TMZ had them flying around. They thought they were I Spy on the case. You couldn't tell Harvey nothing. Harvey was like, I'm going to solve this case. No. Lisa B says, my opinion, I think that this was meant to be a robbery, and Nancy found this guy in her house. Nope, because he took nothing. If you're going to rob, you're going to take something. You're going to pick up something along the way. You're going to be like, well, I did come here to steal. She didn't take her phone, nothing. Her key, nothing. He went there purposely to take her because he had cased the house out days before. Oh, let me finish reading it. So he just took her. If it was ransom, why hasn't this guy reached out? They are willing to pay. Exactly. It is, if it's ransom, they're willing to pay up to $1 million. Yep, the cover-up is real. All the letters that TMZ got were BS, says Lisa B. Hello, Mary. Mary says she was 84 years old, using a walker, living alone in a mansion, getting dropped off by an Uber. I thought the grandson, the son-in-law, dropped her off. And my thought was she couldn't walk far. Did he get out the car to help her to the car, to the front door? Does it sound like he just dropped her off and left? Rockadoo. Yeah, he's in there for sheriff. Rockadoo. Go find Nancy. Yeah, Harvey wants to solve the case so bad. It hurts. It hurts. He's so glad they sent him a note that he got to be a part of this. He don't know what to do. He wants to solve the case so bad. I think Shaquille O'Neal is not an elective sheriff, but he is a sworn law enforcement officer who holds high-ranking honorary positions. Oh, wow. That's pretty awesome. Rockadoo could have done better. Okay. Mm-hmm. Go find this smell, Rocky. Go find this smell. Go find this backpack smell. They took nothing, but could it be that he got scared and just took her out so he wouldn't get caught? It all just doesn't make sense. I think he was coming to get her. She was the package. She was the package, because why take her with you if you're going to rob? That's like extra weight for you to take someone. So there was a motive in taking her, because whatever they want could have, what if they went there to harm her, they could have just did that and left. If they went there to rob her, normally tie her up, steal the stuff, and get out of there. They didn't do any of those things, which makes me believe that she was the package. They were meant to go get her. They were always planning to take her out of her home. Now, after that, it's a mystery. It's like a mystery. An unsolved mystery. There's a lot of shady things going on in Hollywood. It may be something much deeper. It could be they used Uber frequently, like you said, stalking out the house. Yeah, CC may be right. Rockadoo would really demand a year's supply of treats before sniffing out anything. He's going to bark at the treat to let you know, treat time. I don't know what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing, but I want a treat. Yep. Yep. I do believe that, Lisa. And something's gone wrong. I don't think that she was supposed to be unalived. I think the plan didn't go as well. She's an older woman. She needs her medication. She needs her stuff. You know, what happened? Why would you take an 84? What do you want with an 84-year-old? What a sinister bastard. What a sinister bastard. Maybe they took her. Maybe she had a heart attack. They didn't count on that happening. Exactly, Mary. Exactly.
Pajamas with no shoes.
No
without her medicine.
shoes.
This little person. And to beg for mercy.
In the days that followed, multiple notes demanding payment were sent to various media outlets. The ransom notes or ransom requests came. Did you believe those to be real?
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But, you know.
Not real. See, that's confusing me. The ransom notes wasn't real. They led to something. Somebody was on the other side of those ransom notes. And were they questioned? That's a question.
A person that would send a fake ransom note really has to look deeply at themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, they will do
to
it.
A family in pain.
People, girl.
But
they
I
took
believe
your mother.
The 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Really?
You're right, Lisa B.
When the Ring camera video surfaced, and you
honestly, I just came up with that theory. I just came up with that theory, Lisa. But because it's just weird. She lives in this house in Tulsa, and she's out there in no man's land. You know, she's, hold on, guys. My husband told me to take care of his stuff, his little work. And I think his break is up. So I got to make him available. Yes. He brought the computer to me. Last time I forgot. Yeah, but your theory does make sense too, Lisa. It doesn't mean that your theory isn't right. That's just another way of thinking. That's all. Cece, it was a heads up warning to her daughter for speaking up against Trump one too many times, in my opinion. Allegedly. Could be, you know, something not even having to do with Nancy. Maybe it does have something to do with Savannah. See, that's what I get also. Shady is something you can't discuss on TV. Did they find who sent them? That's what I want to know. Who sent them? Why aren't they reporting on that? They did report one person that sent a note, nothing after that. Exactly. Harvey acted like he was getting a ransom note every day. He acted like they had a relationship. Him and the kidnappers. I have another ransom note. Just telling us. He probably should have kept that anyway. I don't know.
You could see who that person was. Just tell me what you thought when you saw those images of the person who took your mother.
I mean, it's just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's just totally terrifying. And I can't imagine that is who she saw standing over her bed.
Yeah.
I can't. It's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm glad and grateful to the investigators and the technology companies
Yes, Lisa
that were
B.
able to find that video. Do I hope, at least with people of good heart and compassion, stop the irresponsible and cruel speculation that had started to swirl.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
I'm glad that people saw what came to our door.
Yeah. When you talk about the cruel speculation, the whispers, the innuendo that it was somebody in your family, how did you weather that?
It's unbearable.
Yeah.
And it piles pain upon pain. There are no words.
You're available, babe.
There are no words. I don't understand. I'll never understand.
Thank you.
And no one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law. And no one protected my mom more than my brother.
Oh, wow.
And we love her, and she is our shining light. She's our matriarch. She's all we have.
Savannah and her family stayed together in Arizona for weeks as the
He's a
media
troll.
coverage grew more intense.
We had to move houses many times because people came, and not everyone is respectful, unfortunately. You know, there was a night we had to leave in the dark in the desert holding hands, me and my sister and brother and I get into a car waiting for us because the people outside were closing in. So we found a place that was safe, and then we couldn't really leave too much. So like those days are a blur.
Yeah.
Crying and praying.
How did your family feel about the way the investigation was conducted?
Well, it's still going.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
people have worked tirelessly.
Rich.
Tirelessly. And we see that. But we need answers. We cannot be at peace without knowing. And someone can do the right thing. And it is never too late.
Yeah,
to do the
I'm
right
going to speed it up just a bit.
And our hearts are focused on that.
I think
that's
where
horrible.
Savannah ended that, it's not too late to do the right thing, is really,
It's
I think, the intent
horrible.
from the beginning. I think she was, a fantasy was that someone sees it, someone who saw someone who knows someone who will say something, because, you know, I think this is all about bringing Nancy.
Well, it's still an
home.
open case for 54 days, and the bravery that she's showing in this interview is
You're a
not to
troll,
shine a light on
Harvey.
herself, but to remind people that if you have anything to do with this, if you know anything,
Yes.
you firmly believe that somebody does know something, it's not too late. Yes. We can still bring Nancy home if you call the number.
And one of the things Savannah actually said to me was, she said, please remind everybody that there are lots of people who are missing, and that's why her family has donated to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And she wanted me to underscore that, because she wanted to be clear, like, this is also about a lot of people who are missing. But you guys know how strong
It's
Savannah is.
so good,
I have
Mary.
never, I mean, I knew she was strong, but I didn't know how much until yesterday. Yeah, when I sat with her.
Just of the takeaways there, the fact that our dear friend would blame herself.
Oh, that was the hardest.
That was the hardest part.
Would blame herself for any of this when it was some sicko or sickos out there who
There's some
kidnapped a woman. Overnight.
sickos.
But the only SG could sit there and do that.
Because of the faith that she has,
Yes.
that Nancy instilled in her.
And I think we're going to talk about that, Al. In fact, in the next hour, we're going to talk a little bit more about Nancy and the faith that kind of brought her to this point. So our love and prayers for Savannah.
Again, we want to mention again the phone number to call. If you have any information about this case, that phone number is right there on your screen. 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning.
A lot of stuff in my playlist, but it's not there.
Regarding Andrew, I think he should be treated like everybody else.
Okay, we're moving
If this was
on, guys.
like your next door neighbor.
To Meghan, and her neighbors are sick of her. Get the hell out of Dodge. We don't want you here. Blase, blase, blase. Where is it? God, none of it's there. Hold on.
Take me back to the day.
Since Massey decapitated and mutilated.
Hold on.
Regarding Andrew, I think he should be treated like everybody else.
Where is it? Okay, forget it. I have to look it back up. I put it in my folder, my videos that I'm going to show you guys. I put them in my folder, and for some reason, I don't know if my folder is overflooding, but I'm not seeing it in there. Let me try something. Let me do playlists, and then my list.
Regarding Andrew, I think he should be treated like everybody else.
And then
if this was like your next door neighbor and you found out that he'd been.
Okay. Okay, nope. Okay, anyway, we will move on from there. It's not doing what it needs to do, and it's pissing me off. Okay, so let's get back to the story on Megadu. Her neighbors are sick of her. We got to watch this about the petition. 35,000 Australian people signed a petition to keep Meghan from coming. That's some real people don't like you. People don't like her. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry snobbed by Montecito neighbors. The neighbors are sick of him. You are no longer, this is neighborly. Yep. Harry and Meghan slammed by neighbors. Let me make sure I got it. There it is. I have so much on Meghan. I don't know if we're going to be able to get all to it. But Meghan doesn't like Africa. She doesn't. Remember when she went that one time and she told them to get her out of there? Okay. Let's see. I don't know how long we're going to be here today, guys, but we're going to be here a minute. I've only been on an hour, so we're good. Let's go. Don't let it piss you off, LL. Okay. I had to go and find it. I found it. I'm okay. Plan B, CC. Plan B.
Christina Benjamin.
Okay, where do I want to start? I want to talk about the Montecito neighbors. Okay. And then I want to talk about how she doesn't like Africa. And I also want to talk about how the Australian people have signed a petition to keep her out of their country. That is crazy. Meghan and Harry getting the cold shoulder. Woo! Okay, here we go.
Harry and Meghan, I mean, we can't have a chat without mentioning those two. Their representative has hit back after more than 35,000 people signed a petition demanding no taxpayer money be spent on their upcoming visit to Australia. A spokesman for the couple responded saying it's a moot point. The trip is being funded privately, so I'm not sure.
Breaking freaking news. Australians signed a petition to make her pay for her trip instead of the taxpayers. Oh, this is good. Hello, Ziggy Lee chick with the crown. This is good. This is yummy to the tummy. Look at this. She wants them to pay for her stuff. Who do you think you are? You're not a royal. We're not paying for your stuff anymore. You're not royalty. You are not royalty. We are not bowing to you. We're not paying for your stuff. We've signed this 35,000 people petition to stop you from using our money for your glamour shots, for your moment in time. That is so off the chain.
What this petition hopes to achieve. Kinsey, well, if it's a moot point, I don't know why we even bother responding.
I know. I mean, never complain, never explain. Hitting back at this and so arrogantly, and attacking Tom Bauer for his new book.
Woo! They are hitting back. Meghan is hitting back. She's talking. She's got something to say about Tom Bauer and his book that leaves her looking like a manipulator and a brainwasher and someone that is not on the up and up. Okay? He broke her character down and he knows her to a T. And she's upset about that. So she then came out with a statement. I hope they tell us what the statement is. Then you got this petition telling her that we don't even want you here. It's more to it than just they're not paying for her visit. They don't want her there. Your popularity is just awful. 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 Your popularity is awful. You can't even fix it. You can't even fix your popularity because without it, you are nothing. Nothing. You need it. You need your popularity. You need them to love you, and they don't. And now now the book is out today, and she's pushing back on the book. And now she's pushing back on this petition. People, freedom of speech.
I don't think that they realize that they platform these headlines, that they give these stories more oxygen. And the tone of their response about this particular petition, it reeks of animosity. And you understand why the pair are polling so poorly globally. I mean, it just sounded so bitter. Stay home with your kids. It doesn't sound like Australia wants you.
Oh.
No, last time they were here, they were treated with absolute adoration from everybody except me. They were just at the height of their popularity, and I think they're going to get a very different reception this time around. Now, let's stay with this couple, and a new report has revealed their neighbours in Montecito have had enough of Harry and Meghan. What's behind this bad press? Page 6 has reported this, and other outlets.
Page 6 is reporting that Meghan's Montecito neighbors don't want her. When I tell you karma has hit the fan, and when I tell you this girl is going down and she's going down by fast. She's going down fast. Watch it. Watch the show, okay? On today's episode of Watch Me Go Down is about how 35,000 people have signed a petition to keep you out of Australia. That would have hurt. Stung like a bee. Bzzz. Oh, yeah. BB. Meghan has pulled Harry all the way down. He is a frog. Now, the Montecito neighbors want nothing to do with these two. The neighbors are saying Meghan Markle and Prince Harry is getting the cold shoulder from their neighbors in Montecito. In other words, they're giving them the cold shoulder. Your own neighbors. So when you come out your house, everybody rolling their eyes at you and looking at you. That would be like horrible. Just imagine, go outside. You know, like just go outside on your little porch today and just imagine all your neighbors looking at you and don't like you. And it's in the paper. It's in the town's paper. It's in the town's paper. Cece, I'm going to use you. No, I'm going to use you, Demon Dictator. Yeah. Oh, yes, I did. You want to do, let's do that tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Everybody, imagine Demon Dictator. She goes outside her house. Now, she knows her neighbors. Okay. She spent New Year's with her neighbors. And so she goes outside and they're whispering and talking about her and rolling their eyes at her and like, we don't want nothing to do with you. And you're like, what the hell I do? Demon Dictator, what the hell did I do? What did I do to you, Sue, Joe, and Jack? I didn't do nothing. Imagine coming out your house, all your neighbors is looking at you and rolling their eyes and like shunning their nose to you and don't like you. Your neighbors, not just, see, this is what's going down. She's already done lost a country. The UK can't stand Meghan. Your husband, home country don't like you. That ain't a good sign. Then you come home to try to trick us into believing that the royal family is racist and treated you bad. And that didn't go down well. Okay? So you've lost favor in the United States. Okay? And Australia has just got 35,000 people to keep you either in the United States or you come and you pay for yourself. The fall is real. And Netflix don't even follow her no more. They're not following Meghan anymore. And they said, if you want to talk to us, you got to talk through our lawyers. Woo! They sick of her. She's done, fried, baked, and cooked. And that's why she's coming out with these stories and trying to fight back against Tom Bauer and the 35 people that said, keep yourself at home. We don't want that fake-a-do. They know she's fake. They have found out that you're a fake-a-do. You know what happened? When your father lost his leg, you treated him like crap-a-do, and everybody saw that. And you think it's just going to be swept up under the rug, and you're going to keep living your cushy life and forget about Daddy-ola. Is karma biting or what? She is getting ate up from the floor to the floor. She is getting ate up. And mind you, she's charging $3,000 a head. She is charging $3,000 a person to sit next to her and take a picture. $3,000. A picture and dinner. Woo! Meghan. I don't know what fool, what idiot paid that, but it is what it is. Okay, Demon Dictator, thank you. Okay, wonderful. Let's plan it. Perfect. See, you know your neighbors, you hang out with your neighbors. Imagine those same neighbors turning on you the next day. The one you took to the hospital. She don't like you now. What the hell did Demon Dictator do? I'm telling you what she did. I'm telling you. She treated her father like crap-a-doodle. She treated Harry's country like crap-a-doodle. She treated her family crap-a-doodle. Karma is coming. And it's biting and it's eating. She has nothing lined up for the next scam-a-do. She's been an entrepreneur, a humanitarian, a philanthropist. What else has she been? A businesswoman, a boss. What awards did she get? Didn't she get some awards? One of these days, she will be calling 1-800-BELL-BONDADOO. I like that, Mary. Good one, good one.
It's why are the neighbors upset with the royal couple?
Well, I'll tell you, I think that this is kind of an avalanche coming off of that Variety piece that was so unforgiving last week that really goes into their relationship crumbling with Netflix. And some of the neighbors saying that they don't hate them. They just avoid them. No one wants to be seen with them. It's a growing awareness that they're takers with zero self-awareness and everyone's exhausted by them. I think takers is the key word. They've been accused of
takers is the key word. I've always said that Meghan is a taker. She took those titles. She took Harry. She took them kids and left the country. What else did she take? Come on. There's a laundry list of things that she takes. She takes people's friendship, kindness. And then she treats them like horrible. She's a taker.
asking to borrow people's vacation homes, asking to borrow their jets.
Oh my God, asking for their jets, their vacation homes, their clothes. She ain't got no shame. Stop begging. She is going around begging. Can I get on your jet? Can I get your jet to go to Los Angeles? Because I'm going down there to check the fires and I need your jet. Or I'm going to Uvalde. Can I use your jet? Can I use your vacation home? She thinks, since she's the Duchess of Sussex, that people are supposed to do these things for her without questioning. She's lost herself. She's lost herself. Meghan has been gone. That little girl, we got a grown, rotten from Denver, not Denver, but she's rotten to the core. She's rotten to the core. The neighbors don't want nothing to do with you. You can't even go out your house and say, hey, John. Hey, Paul. Paul just ran in the house like he saw a ghost. These neighbors, these countries, these families, these friends. She has nothing, none of that. They want nothing to do with her. Hollywood calls her a loser. I can't keep up with the insults or the things that when they called her the biggest loser of 2025 and put it on a billboard like the window of in Hollywood.
Their relationships seem very one-sided, and they're focused on what they can get out of other people and how they can take the financial burden off of themselves. Hence, Australia wanting to.
Oh, thank you, Daisy, for being a member for 1 month. Let's give it up for Daisy. Let's put some hearts and some fans in the chat for Daisy. All right. Thank you, Daisy. I appreciate that, sweetheart. She took his sack. Oh. She took it all. Okay? She took all his manhood.
To confirm that they aren't freeloading off of them.
Takers is an excellent word. So is entitlement, users. I mean, a lot of words you could use to describe those two. Now let's talk about Stephen Colbert, the outgoing late-night TV host. He's been slammed online after it was revealed he would be one of the key writers in an upcoming Lord of the Rings movie. Here was some of the announcement.
You know what the books mean to me and what your films mean to me. But the thing I found myself reading over and over again were the 6 chapters early on in the Fellowship that y'all never developed into the first movie back in the day. It's basically the chapter is Three's Company through Fog on the Barrow Downs. And I thought, oh, wait, maybe that could be its own story that could fit into the larger story. Could we make something that was completely...
Netflix bosses aren't the only ones distancing themselves from the Sussexes. A source tells Page Six that
this is breaking news because Page Six is one of those pages, one of those outlets that she expects them to say nice and kind things about her, but they are not. Sources say that the people in Montecito want nothing to do with her. Look at this.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Montecito neighbors are over it. Everyone is avoiding them.
They are over it. They are avoiding them. Look at this. Look how the tables have turned. Look how the lies are coming to fruition now. When she sat on Oprah Winfrey's couch and lied about the royal family, that they mistreated her, that they didn't embrace her, they didn't give her this, they didn't do this and that, and do. Now all of a sudden the people around her is understanding what the royal family went through and want nothing to do with her. They avoid her. They don't want to be around her. They don't want to see her. They don't want her accidentally running up on them and saying, "Hey girl." They're like, no. They running. Did you see that cartoon called Home? Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that cartoon, Home. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Okay, look. Who's seen that cartoon Home with Rihanna was the little girl, and then the little alien was always getting in trouble. I'm gonna pull it up. Home movie. When his friends hide from him. Where is that scene? Scene. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? He was, oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. Oh, but this ain't it. He's sad. Hold on. Before this. Okay, look. This Meghan right here. Okay. There's another part to it, but this is the only piece I can show you. Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay. This is the alien. This is Meghan. Okay. This is Meghan. It's over for her. She didn't cook some snacks and look like she got some rolls and look like she is fin to serve her guest, okay? Because some friends are coming over and the neighbors are coming over because she's having a housewarming party. This alien that's going to be Meghan for right now. We're going to use her as an example. This is what's going on with her life now. This is the reality of what's happening to her. And no one likes her. The Kardashians don't like her. The neighbors don't like her. UK, a whole country. A whole country. She's having a housewarming party. I'm going to hit play. This is Meghan. That's her door.
Huh? Neighbors, hello! Please come in and... Hello? Hello?
This Meghan. That's Meghan. These the neighbors. Saying hell no.
Oh. Hello?
Oh, poor Meghan. One more time. This is what's going on with Megadoo. They're running from her. Look at these aliens. They're running from Meghan. No. Huh? Be quiet.
Hello?
Oh, that.
Please come in and... Hello?
Anybody home?
Hello?
Sorry. slaps him in the face. Watch how he gets slapped in the face. Be quiet. Don't want Boov to know.
Neighbors.
Uh-oh. Nappa Doolittle.
Please come in and... Hello?
Hell no. Here she come.
Hello?
Uh-oh. This is what they're doing to her. And avoid. They're avoiding Meghan like the plague. Woo! Girl, how do Harry put up with you? How does he put up with her? Yes, they were hiding from her. The scam jam. She was trying to get them to eat that. I said, no. We don't want to hang out with you. We don't want to party with you. We're not coming over. We don't want to be bothered with you. We don't want to have nothing to do with you. We want to pretend like you don't even live next door to us. Okay? Run. We're running. They was doing a how-to-do. That's right, Polo. A how-to-do. That's what they were doing. A straight-up how-to-do. Somebody got slapped in the face. The how-to-do. No. That ain't gonna work. Oh, God. It never gets old. Dog, it never gets old. Don't say nothing. Oh. Come get some of this scammer jam. No. No. Not today. This woman right here, this Jezebel, has managed to alienate herself from everyone and everything that she touches. Anything or anyone that she comes in contact with, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a situation. There's going to be something that goes down no matter who she comes in contact with. Now her own neighbors, according to page 6, are avoiding her like the plague. The scammer jam. They don't want to be seen. Oh. How bad is it when people don't want to be seen with you? You know, like almost like you got something on your face and I don't want to be seen with you because it's on your face. I can't think of nothing else. No, I can do better than that. I don't want to be seen with you. I don't want nobody to know that I came in contact with you. I don't want nobody to see me in public with you. That is a real deal. This girl her reputation is gone. And the problem with that is that in Hollywood, without your reputation, you are nothing. It's not like the royals. Andrew is ostracized, kicked out, but he still get to go home and have 3 meals and, get to have someone run his bath water every night for him. He's still getting to love luxuries. He's still in the castle. But her situation is different. The money is cut off. The fame is cut off. The likability is gone. No one likes you. That's a problem. That's problem number one. And no matter what PR team she gets, she fails. Do you know she thought her twerking video was going to be her breakout moment? This girl's popularity is in the toilet, and that means problems. That means we got issues. That means we need to figure out how we gonna fix this, because if we don't, it's gonna continue to go downhill. Like page 6 is telling them that the neighbors want nothing to do with her. Her own neighbors. They don't want to be seen with her. They don't want to be walking down the street with her. They don't want her to yell out their name. Hey, Susan. Run, Susan. Run, girl. Yes. She's like the plague. No one wants that. Oh, girl, you done messed up. You done messed up. You done messed up royally. That's what you call a royal mess up. A royal S up. Yeah, to me, this is the straw that broke the camel. Oh, yeah. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. She has nothing. And she can continue to pretend all she wants to. She can go on for another couple of years pretending that they got a couple of dollars in the bank and Harry's going on those speaking engagements and he's not. And there's no deals. There's nothing coming in because no one wants to work with these two grifters and these two problem childs. Netflix is so glad to be done with them. They don't know what to do. If they could tell us the real story, the hell we went through with Meghan, that's how they should name it. The hell we went through with this one. When we finally got rid of her, she is finally imploding. Dar, I'm gonna call you Dar. Dare, okay? No class, no talent, no common sense, nothing. And welcome. Hello, Pickles. Yes. Let's welcome Dare. Thank you. I appreciate that because I'm very bad with names. So let's welcome Dare, okay? Yes. Say hello. Do we understand the difference between being a royal and being a Hollywood star? And we now understand that without a talent and without popularity, Meghan will falter. It's a mathematical certainty. Got that from the Titanic. It will falter. It will continue to go down. It will not get better. She is unfixable. She's not capable of fixing her reputation because she hasn't been able to in the last 7 years that we've known her to be able to fix the narcissism, the sociopath, the meminess of it all. No, she's treated her father with no respect, none whatsoever, and lied about him coming to the wedding. He was never coming to the wedding, and it's obvious. It's so obvious that you were never inviting your dad. And you want us to, oh, she's so wonderful. You're so awesome, Meghan. You want us, like Tom Bauer said, she pretends. She turns on the charm and she pretends. And people can see it and know that she's not authentic. How are you going to go in a hospital and look at a woman that has lost her leg to war, but don't go and visit your father that lost his? But you care so much about this lady. You can't. It doesn't make sense. You can't treat your family like crap-a-doolittle and then think you're going to be nice to strangers and we're going to see that you're nice. No. You have managed to ruin it. You ruined it. The only reason why you were interesting was the fact that you had a connection to the royals. And now that you don't, you're fading in the wind. Your relevancy is boring because all you're doing is making scam jam and sprinkle dinkles. And as ever, and no one cares. No one got with the Christmas movie. Did you see her in that green $5,000 dress? Everybody else was dressed conservative. She got on a $5,000 green dress. Just looking odd, like she is. Odd. Don't read the room. Didn't get the memo today. It's really unfortunate because there was so much potential, but reality is finna set in for home chick. Reality that what I used to have going on ain't going on no more. I can't talk my way out of this. I can't jive my way out of this. I can't rub someone's back and rub their belly out of this. No. No matter what camera or angle you take a picture at, you're still going to be a loser. You are a loser. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Stand Tall. She doesn't fit in, Dare. She doesn't. She's odd. She's odd and she's not relatable. No one can relate to her. When she's talking in her speeches, you half the time I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Community and community. But she has messed up royally. How is she going to get herself out of this mess? How is she going to get herself out of this situation? Because she's in it and people see it. No one wants to work with you. No one cares about the next award you're going to go pick up or your next red carpet moment. I don't. It's the same old stuff. It's getting old. Listen. You know what? Let me say this because I've said this before. I don't know what video it was, but I said that they are takers. She's a taker. She took those Duchess of Sussex, came over here and tried to sprinkle and jam her way into billionaire status. No one was buying her jam like that. She advertises it every moment she gets on her Instagram. She should, because I heard she had $10 million worth of products at Netflix and they can't get rid of it. And there's an expiration on that stuff. She's a taker. They don't like her. Ooh. Some of the neighbors try all of the neighbors. So are you telling me her jam isn't the jam? I'm telling you her jam ain't jamming. Her jam ain't jamming at all. They are rejecting them. Page 6 said, Wow, this is something. Where's that? Where's that? little bit. This is a big rebuke. Hold on. Oh my God, Harry wants to go home. No, he ain't ready to go home yet. She's a grifter, says Dare. Let's read some comments. Stan says 100 a tracker, no doubt about it. The charities to all for appearance for her. Sorry. Jam definitely ain't jamming. Same with the wickless candles. Exactly, Stan. You know, H&M claim a victory about Meta and Google being liable. Pickles. See? Can you hear me? Y'all can't hear it? Exactly. She totally lives in her head for the grandeur. Okay, I can't hear them. So let me know. Can you hear it? You can't hear that? Put a one in the chat if you can hear it. Okay. Oh, this is good. Let me try to just get a new page. See if this will work. So Meghan didn't like Africa. Of course she didn't. Why would she? No. It ain't clean enough for her. She's too good. She's too goody of a goody goo shoe. Tooty good. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, put a one in the chat if you can hear it. Can you hear that now? Okay. I'm going to go out and come back in. I'll be right back. All right. I am back in the house. In the house. Hello, Debbie. Put a one in the chat if you think Meghan didn't like Africa. Okay, here we go.
Meghan didn't like Africa. She hated the trip to South Africa.
Royal Insider Tina Brown, author of
hear
The
it
Palace
now?
Papers, has issued a warning to the British royal family and Prince William about the danger Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are now putting the entire monarchy in. That comes as she has a major revelation in regards to Prince William and how he intends to raise Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. This all part of the fallout from Tom Bower's book. Here is the Tina Brown headline. Are the Windsors underestimating the Sussex problem? And that comes as Bower himself continues to drop truth bombs about Meghan Markle, including the fact that despite her fakery with Harry, she actually hates
There's a Sussex problem.
Africa. Look.
Meghan didn't like Africa. So
Hang on, I thought they got engaged under the African stars.
Exactly. I think that was a
under
lot.
African skies.
She hated the trip to South Africa.
In a glorified tent, Tim.
Yeah.
But of course, much of the current...
She says she went there to Africa and she got proposed to in Botswana. And, and she filmed it and everything and showed her friend that he got down on one knee and asked her. Just stupid. Just stupid. Trying to convince us that they in love. Nope. If you're in love, it should just show. We'll see it. You just see it. You just know it.
Meltdown is because of the fact that Harry is worried about losing those all-important titles.
Everyone was saying you couldn't take away Andrew's titles without an act of parliament and everything else. And suddenly they invented letters patent to take them away, a great constitutional fudge. I think Harry realizes that once William becomes king, he's in danger of losing his titles.
Really?
Absolutely.
Isn't that a declaration of brotherly war?
Well, there is a declaration of brotherly war, but it was declared by Harry. I mean, who did it?
All of this comes as Meghan Markle's Hollywood humiliation continues. We're going to get into it all today with royal YouTube sensation, The Diner. But first, to this Tina Brown warning. And look, the thing about Tina Brown is I don't actually agree with her solution to the problem, because her solution to the problem is always this idea that somehow Harry and Meghan can just return and everything's going to be okay and they're going to be welcomed. However, her diagnosis of just what peril Harry and Meghan continue to put the monarchy in, with that I am on board. So on her Fresh Hell Substack, Tina Brown writes, just how desperate does the House of Windsor want Harry and Meghan to get? The royals and their advisors don't seem to see the iceberg looming from sunny Montecito, distracted by the Andrew...
The iceberg. Remember last night? We were watching Titanic. He said, how much looser do the iceberg got to get? Like, how close do you want the iceberg to get to the boat before it collapses? I don't see Meghan and Harry being a threat to the monarchy. I see them being an embarrassment and, going broke, maybe. That's what I see. I see an embarrassment. I don't see royalty when I see them. What do you guys see? Do you think that they have the ability to shame the monarchy to the point where they need to be stripped of their titles? She didn't water those titles down so that it really doesn't. If her popularity ain't got it going on, her titles mean nothing. You ruined yourself, girl. You left your father in the Philippines with an amputee leg, girl. Then he had 2 heart attacks and a stroke and still didn't go see your daddy. But you want us to buy your products and like you? That's going to be difficult. Bring on William. They went after his wife and daughter, no return ever. She won't let those kids go to the UK. Oh, no. Harry will never be able to take little Junior over there, little Archie over there to see his grandfather and Lilibet. Oh, no. He's not adult enough to do that. Meghan would not allow that to happen. He's not an adult enough to do that. she's going to blame it on something like security and it's dangerous over there and come up with all these freaking excuses until he should say, wait a minute, this is my hometown. It's not what you're making it out to be, this scary place that you don't want to be a part of anymore. So you talk about it. It's an embarrassing mess to do. King Charles is a joke, not shutting them two down and thinking of his loyal family members. See, with shutting them down, removing their titles, Stan, would that bring back some kind of, likability for the king if he took the titles away? Do you think?
Mountbatten Windsor catastrophe, the palace remains in a perplexed haze about one of the Andrew scandal's less discussed lessons, the perils to the monarchy, when peripheral royals hang out with the uber rich and start to consider themselves by comparison broke. Potential reputational hazards to the Sussexes lurk in the dreaded moral pitfall of wanting to fly private. On their 2024 DIY royal tour of Nigeria to promote Harry's and Victor's games, Meghan's refusal to fly by military transport meant the couple...
They do not want to fly anything other than private. So they want to catch George Clooney's jet or whatever, or rent one. Ooh, how would they do that, demon dictator? Like, seriously. How would they get the kids here? Because Meghan looks like she's a bully.
Availed themselves of a small plane supplied by the Nigerian big shot, Alan Onyema. Without palace advisors to brief them, Harry and Meghan seemed unaware that Onyema was wanted in the US on charges of money laundering. Sounds just like the kind of dodgy dude Prince Andrew would have invited to a straightforward shooting weekend. And she adds, I am told that the heir to the throne, Prince William, is preoccupied with the built-in risk of primogeniture's cruelty. He is determined that his second and third-born children, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, are well prepared and well financed for independent lives and will not fall into the same cycle of thwarted freedom. But what about his traitorous brother? The rupture with Harry is bigger than a sibling feud. Before the Sussexes crash and burn, the House of Windsor needs to put aside Schadenfreude and grip the problem. Give Harry and Meghan a limited international role. Cough up a turnkey pied d'etat for them in Buckingham Palace, where none of the rest of the family wants to live anyway. Pay their damn security bill. It won't be a good look if Harry, a veteran of 2 tours of Afghanistan, is taken out by a nut job. In return, the Sussexes must put a sock in it. As for the press's obsession with brotherly reconciliation and forgiveness, forget it. For 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II spent her reign smiling tightly at people she couldn't stand.
Oh.
So, P. Dinah, as I say, this is not a take that I agree with. I think there is no way that Harry and Meghan should be welcomed back, and I think they actually would pose more of a risk in terms of having proximity to the British royal family. But what's interesting here is that Tina Brown, who was a bit of a champion of Harry and Meghan in the early days, is now just accepting that it has been a disaster and making the point that their new commercial plans, like Meghan's trip to Australia, have a real ring of post-divorce Fergie, of post-divorce Andrew. And actually, there is a threat. We are on a mission to 700,000 subscribers. So I need you to do something for me right now. It is free.
The monarchy, they won't put a sock in it. Meghan will never come back willingly and put a sock in it. Like, this is a couple that doesn't really have good clarity on what they want to do. And Meghan will always make problems, I believe, being in a situation that she doesn't want to be a part of. And so there really is no solution for, the palace to try to accommodate them so that they can support, the monarchy better with having them on their side, because that will never happen. I think at this point, looking at what happened with Andrew, you have to get as far away as possible from the potential problem, so that when the problem does become enormous, you're already far away.
Okay, we're gonna move on from Meghan. I'm sick of her. Okay. Can we move on from her today? I do want to talk about Andrew.
Regarding Andrew, I think he should be treated like everybody else.
Meghan's in some serious trouble. She's got popularity issues. She's got talent issues. And she's got to get the world to fall in love with her, or she's going to keep going down the wrong hill. Okay? That's what's happening. And there's not going to be a PR team that can save her. WME couldn't, so why in the hell would this one do it? The royal family are bullies. PDFs. Look into how many PDF things have gone out of that so-called palace. It has all gone wrong. Oh, it's all gone wrong. I have hope for the monarchy. Does he stand? Andrew has the same arrogance as Harry. Interesting. Harry I didn't see this coming. But then I realized, I was like, wow, Harry is weak. He's, oof. That don't taste good. Yeah. Okay, but let's see how many lies he done told. Okay. Where is that? Oh,
November 23rd, 2024.
Next, top biographer Tom Bauer. More on that new book, Betrayal, Power, Deceit, and the Future of the Royal Family. Have a listen. While we're on and we've got you, and by the way, peeps, the book is fantastic. 26, Betrayal, Power, Deceit, and the Fight for the Future of the Royal Family by our very own Tom Bauer. The King has come in for quite a bit of criticism recently over Andrew.
Yeah, I think we did this. Okay, now everything wants to show up. It wasn't showing up at first, CC. Okay, we talked about Nancy. Let's move on to our next topic. We talked about Meghan. She ain't doing good. We talked about the petition. I want to talk about Andrew. And where is it? Okay, hold on, because I have a lot of stuff. Nancy, the league, Texas. LaGuardia. Okay. Andrew. Ex-Prince Andrew investigated fresh trouble for a former prince. Let me see. First photo showing Epstein, Andrew, and Manderson. I want to start there. He could take the royals down. Here we go.
Let's cross to America. This is brilliant. We do this every single morning because we love her. And she loves certain people. I don't think she loves me anymore. Kinsey Schofield, a very good morning to you.
Why would you say that?
You don't message me, you don't call, you just don't spend any time on me anymore. I'm needy.
I'm trying to be respectful of your small children, okay? You were on daddy duty over the weekend.
And grazed their knee, another had been hitting the governmental appointment, Kinsey Schofield.
Keir Starmer is sounding a lot like Joe Biden these days. In the boys' rooms.
That is what his tagline was from the Trump administration. He put
He was clearly trying to pander to a certain demographic, and he wanted the liberal vote.
It's lovely to see you. Really lovely to see you. Fantastic. What should we start with? This
HRH.
True. I
Let
saw
it
this.
go.
Let it go. Let it go. What was that from?
From Frozen.
Apart from the lack of contrition, because he's not one of those people, is in the HRH on the boxes is absolutely him down to a T. Is that actually people go, hold on a minute, I'm really struggling, and he's still got a chef and a valet. He might have him in a mobile home, but how is that? How is that punishment? A lot of people are saying, right?
I know. I've got a photographer friend who's camped outside Marsh Farm, where he's kind of farm.
It's almost as good as Gilbox.
And he constantly sees dry cleaning vans going in and out, cleaning services. This man's living a life of luxury. He's absolutely in denial about what's happened to him and how his life has been destroyed in the public eye. I think that he's just enjoying sort of a life of bliss. I mean, he's not allowed to ride his horses. That's probably an issue. And I'm sure he's been slightly jaded, but I think he's
because he can't ride his horse. An alarm clock bricks already 3 hours into the day. I'm not having a go. I was making the point. That's the problem, isn't it, Kim? Is that he just isn't, he doesn't look like there's any understanding of what everybody.
How do you know? You haven't seen him. He hasn't seen it. Oh, thank you, Jay-Z, for putting Polo's link in the chat. And Polo, please feel free to do that when you come about. Thank you. Check out Polo's Porch, Fireball Friday, Tranquility Tuesdays, and every now in between. Oh, Andrew has the same arrogance as Harry. Okay. Hello, Maureen. Welcome. Andrew brought Meghan to Harry. I heard the whole royal family knew before Harry. The royals wanted Harry run, makes William look great. Wow. Interesting. It's all gone wrong. H is a wet blanket. Harry likes his no man and no match for her. No, at all. She's wearing the pants in that family. I can't wait to get the book. I know. I wanted to do like a read along, but I don't think we can. Do like a Kindle where it reads the book out loud to us. I don't know why we can't. Yeah, he's totally in denial. What would Fergie do? I don't know. Fergie's running around. Poor Fergie.
Anybody else might think.
He doesn't, but I think that the reason he has...
I don't think that he don't care. I think he realizes to some extent that he's in some serious trouble, especially being in the police. This president, demon dictator, you can correct me if I'm wrong, being at the police station for 11 to 12 hours answering questions is serious. And did you see his face when he got in the car? He looked like he saw a ghost. So I do believe that he understands that he could go to jail. Yeah, I think that arrest was the first sign that this is serious, Andrew, and you need to take it very seriously. Okay, Cece, Debbie. Okay. I'm going to put a star by that.
Such a cushy lifestyle still is because the king's afraid of what he might say or do. You know, Sarah Ferguson, they can't control. She's over here trying to clone corgis, but he can control his brother and he can shut his brother up. And I'm sure that Andrew knows where the bodies are buried too. And if he wanted to take the royals down, he absolutely could. And there is a dirty book publisher out there that would give him the opportunity and the voice if it ensured that if he ensured that he could bring some dirt. So I think ultimately this is just the king trying to keep his brother satisfied just enough to shut up and stay under the radar.
I get that, but in effect, she then could say, could you not, that the king is financing, harbouring and looking after a criminal suspect.
No.
At this point, yes. While he's under investigation, you can say that, and it's not a great look. But we'll have to wait and see what.
That doesn't make sense. He's not a fugitive. He's not harboring a criminal. That's his brother. I find it offensive. Fergie will be running around like a headless chicken with deformed legs, not knowing how she can't grift anymore. Says Marine. Dare says that was a snap in the shorts. There is no longer an old boys network.
They come up with. I don't know if he'll be fully prosecuted for this.
He can't be. Let me tell you what, and I know this for an absolute, I think you said it to me, so I'm going to take absolute credit for it. All he's got to do if he goes to court, do you know what he's got to do? All he's got to do for the whole thing to collapse like Paul Burrell is go, I told my brother. Doesn't need to, doesn't need
to. The king has to be his witness, and the king can't be his own witness, and it's just a nightmare.
But you see, that's the point, isn't it, ladies? A nightmare for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. To hardworking Brits, hardworking Americans is not a nightmare. It's a wonderful lifestyle. But yeah, he's been so pampered. Talking about denial, how can we do a part with you without mentioning the madam of denial, Meghan Sparkle, has announced that having lost the Netflix deal, nobody wants to do a podcast and no person wants to buy a jam because it's seedless. No, I didn't mean that. She's going to return to acting. Are we getting back into box 23 of Deal or No?
Oh my God, is that what it is? She's going back to acting? That's not going to work because you wasn't that good when you were doing it. So good luck.
No deal. She made my golf trips to Florida more exciting.
She was on Suits, and I had no idea Suits exist. And it was a cable channel situation going on there, and it didn't get famous until she got famous. But to be honest, Fergie should go to the Sussex. They can all grift together.
I mean, I'm going to correct you here. It's like, this is just, what's in the water? Because we had Boris Johnson write that piece that was like, Harry, please come back this week. And now we have Eric Roberts, the failed actor of, he's the brother of Julia Roberts. God love him. I mean, he's just not to Julia's level. On a red carpet saying that Meghan needs to come back to acting. The world is ready for her. I don't know what Boris Johnson, obviously allergic to prophylactics, but I don't know what else he's got going on over there, because nobody in Britain wants him to return, and nobody in Hollywood want Harry and Meghan either. Jack Quaid is in this new movie with Meghan on Amazon.
Nobody wants them. They don't want them here, there, nowhere. Remember the book, The Green Eggs and Ham? We don't want them anywhere. They don't want them, Sam I Am. I don't want them anywhere. Don't nobody want Meghan and Harry. Montecito, the UK, Hollywood. They're like the plague. We don't want them. Wow. That has got to feel like the worst feeling in the world, to feel unloved, that I'm not liked. Like, really? A whole country, a whole UK okay? Ugh, that would do something to me mentally.
Amazon, and E.T. thrust a microphone in his face and said, "How was working with Meghan Markle? I've never seen a man spin so well in his life." He avoided that question like the plague, refused to acknowledge it, was like, "Well, actually, I star in that movie," and then he lists his co-stars, and it was like, it was the most fun. So a very unrealistic headline from the Daily Mail. We love them, but clickbait, clickbait, clickbait.
I completely agree, and very much like Andrew. Very much like Andrew, a complete and utter inability to understand, sorry, how hated you are. Kinsey, it's amazing. We love having you. Thank you so much. Tomorrow morning at your place, 6:45. Don't be late. Lovely. Kinsey Schofield. We've only got a...
Oh, my God, guys. I want some chicken salad. I do. Honey, we're going to do lunch? Yeah, but I need a few more minutes. Hold on. I want to show you a picture of Andrew and Epstein. Here it is.
This photo, uncovered by ITV News, shows something we've never seen before. Jeffrey Epstein, Peter Mandelson, and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor together.
There, he's in his robe. Look how comfortable Andrew is. He's in his robe, all bare under there and stuff. Look at that. You know something. He knew something. Talking about, I'm over the, he's over something, demon dictator. He's over the, you know, SA trafficking situation. And he said he didn't notice anything that was going on. He didn't know. No, of course you didn't, because you was involved. Liar. That's the one I want to do. I want to do the lie one. Look at this. Look at Andrew. I guess you could, I bet you could guess which one's Andrew. Go ahead, I'll wait. Look at this. He loved it over there.
Until now, we didn't know that the three had ever met as a group, let alone apparently so comfortable with each other. Mandelson and Mountbatten Windsor in bathrobes, American flag mugs on the table.
Ooh.
We knew that both had separate parallel friendships with the convicted paedophile. Here, Andrew with Virginia Giuffre a year or two later. She claimed she was trafficked to the UK by Epstein and assaulted by Andrew, which he denies. Photos and emails within the Epstein files appear to show that former business secretary Mandelson maintained a friendship with Epstein until 2018. This very similar picture, perhaps taken on the same day, was included in a book put together for Epstein's 50th birthday. A note apparently written by Mandelson calls Epstein my best pal. We understand that this photo was taken around the year 2000, so before Epstein was arrested for child sex abuse. The photo was taken at a house in Martha's Vineyard, an upmarket holiday destination in the US. Until now, there was no evidence to show that the three potentially had a social relationship, something that could be significant. In recent weeks, Mandelson has been accused of pushing for Andrew to be appointed as trade envoy at a similar time to when the photo was taken. And the allegations get more serious. Andrew is on police investigation for allegedly sharing confidential trade envoy reports with Epstein. He's previously denied any wrongdoing. Considering their roles in British public life, Andrew and Mandelson knew each other. And in emails to Epstein, Mandelson mentioned the former prince. In one chain, he said he was at Centre Court, Wimbledon, but not in Royal Box like Andrew. But now we have what appears to be a missing piece in the puzzle, a photo which shows that not only did they have individual friendships, but that, at the very least on one occasion, Andrew, Mandelson and Epstein were together as a three in person. Sam Holder, ITV News.
All right, guys. Where was that?
Please. My name is Doria Ragland. I'm Meghan Markle's mother. You know, she'd be so good on the trading stuff. I've got rolling tobacco here. I got Rizlas and everything.
You've just come back from Israel. I mean, I think one of the things that surprised a lot of people around the world is when Iran started lobbying drones and missiles into what would normally be termed friendly countries, although, you know, the critics.
Let's talk about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, because we know that he's, of course, still under investigation for misconduct in public office, but Thames Valley Police is reportedly set to look into other potential corruption offences and conduct a scoping assessment of sex trafficking allegations. Look, I just find this guy gross personally, Andrew, and I think it gets worse and worse, though I'm not surprised. I think with any investigation, I mean, it does always get widened. But how the mighty have fallen, how bad is it?
I mean, it does look like they are trying to get to him, doesn't it, by widening the scope of this investigation. So initially he was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. That was over accusations he shared pretty confidential information with Jeffrey Epstein. But it's also now reported, as you say, that the scope is widening to assess potential corruption charges, corruption offences. They're also conducting a scoping assessment of sex trafficking allegations as well. It does look like this could be a very drawn out process. Some legal voices have said this could take upwards of a year. And it could get even worse. The British police are now telling the Americans they want the full unredacted Epstein files so they can examine them in detail. And who knows what's in them at this stage, but it's not looking good for the former Prince Andrew.
No, look, it's not looking good. And same goes, of course, for his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. I mean, I also find her quite repulsive, to be honest. But you know that she, of course, she banished herself to the United Arab Emirates when those emails to Jeffrey Epstein came out. The ones where she was, you know, she said that he was the brother that she'd always wished for. I mean, gosh, I'm sure she regrets that now. But she hasn't been seen in months. There are rumours of a tell-all interview, a book, a reality TV show. She clearly needs money. But she too is being urged by US Congress to give evidence about her links to the late paedophile. Emily, do you think that we could actually ever see her realistically give sworn testimony?
Sworn testimony, perhaps not, but I could see a tell-all interview. As you say, she's known for being quite money-grabbing, isn't she? And if she was offered some ridiculous seven-figure sum, perhaps she would do it just for the cash. But for now, she does seem to have disappeared off the face of planet Earth. We did hear she was staying at that very expensive Swiss clinic, didn't we? That was something like £13,000 a night. I don't know if she's still there or whether she's in the UAE or whether she's in Britain somewhere. I have absolutely no idea. But it is rather convenient that she's disappeared because, as you say, politicians in the United States are getting more and more vocal about her need to as well as Andrew, to answer questions about the links, to give testimony. This all comes from a Congressman, Suhas Subramaniam. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. He's a member of the House Oversight.
That is pretty interesting. It's almost like she's running. Okay.
I was told by Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine's waiting for you.
We will come back to this another day.
Many people believe that have knowledge of the situation that Trump started
to. All right, guys. I could go on and on. I love you guys. Let's shut it down for today. Okay? I know. That's what they said. They find him, they find her repulsive. Yeah, you're right, Maureen. Meghan's been acting her whole life a demon from hell, playing the part of a human. So is Maggot. Oh, God, that was funny. Enjoyed you. Guys, this was fun. This was awesome. Yeah, lunchtime, Pickles. Me and my husband gonna go. I'm ready, honey. If you want to go get something. I was gonna get some chicky chick. From chicky chick. I want some chicky chick. Okay. I'm hungry after all that. Wow, guys, what do you think about poor Andrew? There was this one that I do want to go over with you guys when I do find it. It just really breaks it down, his lies and, you know. And then what about this? I'm waiting on my husband. What about Candace turns her back on Donald Trump? I know it's old. Okay, that stays there. What?
So, two massive Epstein stories just dropped at the same time. The New York Times put out this huge expose describing how elite doctors were basically working for Epstein. Apparently, they were treating the woman around him and they were reporting their private medical info back to him. And in some cases, allegedly letting him decide what kind of care they got. And Bill Clinton walked out of his deposition in front of
Paul, what was your role and your duties when you were working at Buckingham Palace?
So I was based with the Royal Protection Command from
What do
1998
you
to
guys
2004.
about
And my role was to provide
Lisa
armed protection
B.
to the Queen, Prince Philip and Prince Andrew when in residence at Buckingham Palace and to oversee guests coming in and out, obviously following correct security procedures.
Was it a job you liked?
Yeah, it was a good job. I suppose police officers in this country would call it a cushy job because you're not on the streets rolling about with drunks. You're dealing with, you know, the royal family.
Are they easy to deal with?
For my time now, Prince Philip could be a bit tetchy sometimes. And
well, God put a rainbow in the sky. Meghan Markle has officially been dropped by Netflix. Okay, every single one of her projects absolutely collapsed. Okay, the Christmas special. If you did not see the Christmas special, it was like watching a woman in an insane asylum doing arts and crafts, and everybody was like, good, sweetie, use the children's scissors. She was doing arts and crafts. It was an absolute joke. She couldn't get any real celebrities to be in it. It was supposed to be all of her real friends. Okay, where are all these real friends? Because she didn't even invite them to her wedding. She didn't have her own dad at her wedding. So friends and family aren't her forte. That's not her strong suit. So Meghan Markle, she has been dropped by Netflix. I guess they got tired of the wickless candles. Okay. The wickless candle still haunts me. I leave it here on my desk to remind me, you better work. Okay. You better get up and work. Don't cut corners, because forgetting a wick and a candle, that's an egregious mistake. Okay. I guess Harry wasn't down in the basement doing quality control. She let him up for some air and candles got through without wicks. So as you guys know, we did a full review of Meghan Markle's products on this channel about 2 or 3 months ago. You can go find it. When we opened the candle, there was no wick. Okay, my producer and I, we were absolutely shook. I tried her jams. I tried the orange marmalade, the raspberry, the strawberry. I thought objectively the strawberry was fine. Was it worth the price point? No, okay, because you could go to Albertsons, you could go to Stop and Shop, you could go to Sam's, Costco, and get a bunch of strawberry jam for much cheaper. I also tried her flower sprinkles. I still don't understand why you want to put dried out flower petals on your food, but Netflix said we're also done with her. And the one thing that this did spawn that I found funny, people started sending me candles. So I got sent a Michelle Obama candle after Candlegate. Okay, after Candlegate with the wickless candle, people started sending me candles, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to give my address out. But then I also got this Meghan Markle candle. If these are sacrilegious, I apologize. These were sent to me, but these are probably 2 women who received my ire more than anyone, and deservedly so. Michelle Obama, Meghan Markle, okay? The Duchess of Scamelot, okay? The Duchess of White Castle, the Duchess of Soho House. Should I keep going? So Meghan Markle, she's been canned by Netflix. And let's be honest, the only reason Netflix signed Meghan Markle in the first place, it was a vanity thing. You know, they left the royal family. They wanted to be the first ones, Netflix, to get in the door. They threw them allegedly $100 million to say, come to us. They got that first docuseries, and then that was it. I think everything that came after was sort of a consolation prize. When you are running a business like Netflix is doing, you can't keep people on the docket who are turning out horrible projects that aren't making money. When she comes out with these projects, they're not even in the top 10 on Netflix. How are you not in the top 10 and you're signed to Netflix? That doesn't even make sense. And so Netflix said, you know what? We're going to cut ties and we're going to send you on your merry way. So that is what happened with Meghan Markle. She was sent on her merry way with Prince Harry. I don't think Prince Harry is really interested in being in these projects with her anymore. And I think that's part of the problem as well. Prince Harry has said, you know what? I'm tired of being trotted out on Netflix once a season on your With Love Meghan cooking show or whatever project you're doing. And he said, I'm done. And he was sort of the big draw. Meghan Markle doesn't want to admit this, but Prince Harry is the draw. What makes her interesting is that she's married to this eligible ginger bachelor prince, okay, or ex-prince, okay? I don't know who still has their titles anymore. But Meghan Markle, that's what makes her interesting, that she was this girl who grew up over a garage in, you know, a less than great neighborhood, allegedly. She's a struggling actress. She finally marries this prince, and then she squanders it. She squanders it, okay, like a fool, because there's some folks, especially I see this with a lot of my girlfriends, they think the grass is greener on the other side, whether it's work, personal, relationship. And Meghan, I thought she got too big for her britches. She thought, oh my God, well, I have all the cards. We're going to leave the royal family, go become big Hollywood celebrities.
Yep.
Now Meghan Markle is hanging out with the Kardashians and they don't even want to have anything to do with her anymore.
They don't.
You know how bad you have to be to be persona non grata to the Kardashians? These are people who film every nook and cranny of their lives, and they don't want anything to do with Meghan Markle. That's how low her clout is in Hollywood. And I want to read you Netflix's statement because they gave her a soft landing. I thought it was nice. Meghan's passion for elevating everyday moments in beautiful yet simple ways inspired the creation of the As Ever brand. And we are glad to have played a role in bringing that vision to life. As it was always intended, Meghan will continue growing the brand and take it into the next chapter independently. And we look forward to celebrating how she continues to bring joy to households around the world. Basically, let me translate that for you. Google Translate. Goodbye, sister. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Take your washed up jams, jellies, and wickless candles and hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back, okay? Hit the road, Jack, and get the hell out of here with your floppy hats and your freaking, you know, whatever she's making, paper mache, BS. Now, a source close to the matter told Page Six, it was always the plan to get As Ever running on its own 2 feet. And they said Netflix and the Duchess will continue their mutually supportive relationship. Yeah, right. That's not happening. Now, some insiders say Meghan is relieved to be able to go it alone because she felt like she was being held back by cautious Netflix.
She was being held back. That's that BS. She had full autonomy, creator opportunity. She didn't know what the hell she was doing in the kitchen. So Netflix had to come and get her a team of 80 people. 80 people to help this one woman cook some spaghetti. Make that make sense. No, she's always trying to downplay what really happened because she doesn't want to look like the one that messed it up. But this was your baby. This As Ever was yours. And With Love Meghan was yours. You had full autonomy to be able to make it work. And it flopped. Just like that wickless candle. Flappadoo. Nothing is going up. It's flopping. I was thinking. Look at her with her hat on.
Let me tell you. This woman is not leaving Netflix of her own volition, in my opinion. Okay, if the Netflix deal was going great, if the Netflix deal was amazing and just up and running and every project was hitting top 5 shows, you know, top 10, they wouldn't be letting her go. They would still have this relationship. And for her to blame Netflix for her product's issues, to say she was held back by Netflix.
Yep.
Girl,
she's blaming Netflix. Like, I was held back on my creativity. They wouldn't allow me to do what I wanted to do. It's yours. It's got your name written all over it. How are we supposed to believe anything otherwise? With love, Meghan, as ever, everything reeked of you. So for you to lie on Netflix and say that, oh, by the way, they didn't give me full control over creativity is a lie, is a manipulating thought that comes from you. Just like when she was sitting on that couch talking about Archie was going to be brown and therefore no titles for him and no security. None of that made sense. She doesn't make sense. No, they didn't let me. It's good that they left because now I can have full control over what happens. And because at first so she pretty much trying to blame them for it flopping. It wasn't me. That's her middle name. It wasn't me. That's what she was telling the queen. It wasn't me. It was the courtiers. It wasn't me. It was the staff. It wasn't me bullying these people. It was them. They were bullying me. I was being bullied. I'm the victim. Yeah, you can't blame anybody. It's as ever. It's your brand. You chose that. You picked all these endeavors for yourself, and you need to take full responsibility for what it does and its failures. And say, okay, yes, it was mine. Instead of trying to, they didn't let me do this and that, and that's why it failed. They didn't let me run to the store to get some bubble gum and chew it at the same time. Excuses, excuses, excuses. You've had 7 years to come out with a banging product, with a banging idea, with all this. You've had an opportunity to show us what you're made of, and we see not a dang on thing. No. A scallywag running around here pretending like she care about others when she doesn't, and grifting. Grift to do. Temper. Hey, LL, what do you think Meghan's next move should be? Nothing she do is going to fix it. She is in a downward spiral, Temper. And it's virtually almost impossible to fix her reputation, because if she doesn't fix her reputation, she's not going to be able to move to A, B, C, and D. She's got to fix. People have got to want to work with her. They got to want to invest in her. They got to want to be a part of whatever she's got going on. And right now they don't. They don't. And those that do wish they hadn't. Those that do wish they was like, oh, I made the biggest mistake. You cannot tell me that Netflix is not, number one, excited that it's all over, and number two, regretting that decision. That felt like decades of agony dealing with this manipulator. Now she, like you said, Stan, wants to blame as ever on everybody else. That's what makes her a little icky too, because she fails to take responsibility for any of her actions. It's everybody else's fault. Like she sat on the Oprah couch and blamed blamed everyone else and never took accountability to say anything nice or cordial about the family. It was all, they did this to me, they did that to me. Not, oh, I got this 30-pound wedding and then I got to pick out this beautiful dress. And they sent over a stylist. And then, you know, I was picking out my crown that I was going to wear. None of that. Just all negative. I think her next move is to go visit her father. She's going to have to show compassion. And it's going to start at home. So that's the only way that she's going to start digging her way out of this hole. Otherwise, if she continues down this rabbit hole, this is the hole we're going to see. A bottomless pit of stupid decisions. One after another, after another. I know how disrespectful to Netflix. The arrogance of that woman is astonishing. Blaming them. Blaming Netflix. No, they wouldn't let me. No, it was all their fault. I did nothing. All I did was show up and talked and read the prompter. That's it. That's all I did. Everything else, the creative juices didn't come from me. I didn't pick this stuff out. We saw you at the store getting flowers. We saw you at the store getting vegetables and stuff. I didn't see Netflix. I saw you. This show was yours. It's your fault if it failed. No one else's. You have to take accountability for the failure that happened. Yes, ma'am. Hi, Polly. Hello, hello, hello. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that class. Oh, yeah. Don't forget about the dish soap story. Oh, my God. I think I know. I think I had a dream about it. I was washing dishes and I heard her say, don't wash the dishes. You shouldn't have to wash it. You're a woman. Yeah. Yeah. Netflix, no, they got markled. And the first thing I would do before I would work with her would call Netflix and say, how was it? How was it working with her? Was it difficult or was it okay? Was it difficult? Yeah, it was difficult. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Yeah. Yeah, she is unfortunately. Yeah, poor Meghan. That was a good question. Any more? The fans at, where are my fans at? What are y'all eating today? I'm going to the Chick place as soon as my husband takes a lunch. You're not waiting on me, are you? Okay, good. So we can hang out a little longer. I do want to show you guys something. Hold on.
Making candles and jams, and the candles don't even have wicks.
Oh,
how is that Netflix's fault? How is that Netflix's problem? But that's who Meghan Markle is. So I don't think.
Exactly. How is that Netflix fault? That you failed. That the Christmas tree wasn't green enough. You were, all we saw was you. with lovemaking, cooking, gardening it, being it. You were all over the place. It was your show. It was your show. It was your name. You had your stamp of approval. What is she talking about? You're the director producer. Her and Blake Lively should go make jam and dance to Tay Tay's jam called Canceled. Yep, Polly, like somebody else I know. It's tea time. Aww. That is just too cool. Okay, hang out with me just a little bit longer. And me and my husband, we're going to go get some food from Chick Chick. Chick Chick. Oh, I wanted to show you this Piers Morgan one. He's always arguing with
If she's, as you say, a victim of a miscarriage of justice, then there would be no obvious reason why she would not want to cooperate with the authorities. Is your position, as her brother, is your position that these victims are all lying? There's a lot of speculation about whether Epstein was some kind of Israeli agent. Your father, Robert Maxwell, was also an Israeli agent, maybe also working for Mossad. What can you say about that? Do you believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
That interview was spectacular. What the hell is going on here, Piers? These are wild bombshells.
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell is serving 20 years in a federal prison for recruiting,
I think that's her brother,
transporting young girls for Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse. Amid the outrage of the failure to release the Epstein files, many people have asked, if there is no client list, who did she traffic for and why is she in jail? Well, the answer is she trafficked for Jeffrey Epstein. That's what the court concluded. Evidence from his victims portrayed as a smart.
This is the one I wanted.
I've got quite a lot of material from intelligence officials talking about his involvement and how he'd been compromised by Russian intelligence.
How do you think he's feeling?
Her.
At this point, he is literally being crucified. It has become like a blood sport. No one's actually thinking about, okay, what is his mental health?
Do you have any way, the United States, to compel Andrew to testify to Congress?
Okay.
I really don't care, to be honest with you.
But you care about the victims, I presume, of your brother.
These are the questions I don't get into. Have a good day.
The arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is an historic bombshell. As the instantly iconic front page is laid bare, you have to go back almost 400 years to the first King Charles to find anything else quite like it. And it's raising some uncomfortably existential questions about our way of life. The whole reason the monarchy works as a system of government is that it's supposed to be above the political fray. The monarch answers to nothing and no one but the people and the idea of the nation state. We don't put the royals through parliamentary inquiries and cross-examinations because the moment we do, they're not royals anymore in any meaningful sense, and they don't have to routinely explain themselves because for the most part they don't have practical duties which demand explanation. That's how it all somehow holds together in a classically British fudge. The politicians do all the dirty work. We can change them if we like. The royals, though, are a constant. They represent all things to all people and serve as a woolly but vital symbol of our culture, tradition, and history. Well, Andrew is shattering the whole illusion. He can only be accused of misconduct in public office because for 10 years he was an official government trade envoy, during which time he's alleged to have leaked state secrets to his friend, the convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew always fancied himself as a bit of a deal maker, while many around him felt his hubris exceeded his intelligence. But it's worth asking the question, should he ever have been in that position in the first place? Should being above the fray mean that our royals are strictly ribbon-cutting mannequins who dress up for the state occasions? If the answers are yes, it raises more questions about their relevance in the 21st century. If the answer is no, do they have to get used to the sort of scrutiny we apply to everybody else? Well, King Charles himself said very powerfully that the law must run its course. The king has thus cleared the way for an historic investigation to his own brother because he surely knows how serious this could be for the entire institution. Now, even a monarch can't change his or her family. Andrew, with all his links to Epstein, will in turn be linked to them forever.
He's
no longer a duke or a prince, but it needs to be cast as far away from the idea of the monarchy as humanly possible. A police investigation is a seismic start. And perhaps the only positive for Brand Britain and this whole squalid mess is that it shows our system still works. In the United States, where no one's been prosecuted yet over the Epstein files, there's a shocking lack of trust in the whole judicial system. Everybody thinks your guys will come after my guys, and my guys will go after your guys when they get their chance. It's not what you know, but who you know. Chaos reigns when the people don't believe that justice is possible. At least here in the UK, we can say that nobody, even the brother of a king, is above the law. Well, joining me to debate all this is Andrew Lowney, author of Entitled, Rise and Fall of the House of York, Graham Smith, CEO of Republic, royal commentator Katie Nicholl, and the host of History Uncensored, Bianca Nobilo. Well, welcome to all of you. Andrew Lowney, let me start with you. I've got to say, I mean, talk about good timing for a book. You talk about the downfall of the House of York, and we have literally, in the last few weeks, been witnessing the spectacular downfall of, indeed, the House of York. Is there anything in these files, notwithstanding the very detailed stuff you had in your book, which has genuinely shocked you?
Yes, I mean, I think just the shameless way that he operated, I mean, you know, the way he sent off things very, very quickly. I didn't have access to all these emails. And so it's just the detail there. I think also the national security elements of it. I've become increasingly aware since the book came out about that is actually the next scandal to emerge. But no, it's just the detail, the fact that he was doing it to so many people, and the way that, you know, people like David Stern were inserted into his entourage to sort of promote Epstein's own interests.
In terms of what happens now, what do you think should happen now?
Well, I mean, as the King says, we must let the law enforcement do its bit. But I think there are a lot of questions. I mean, in my book, I talked about how journalists were, when they brought these stories to the palace, stories were denied. There were legal threats. There was pressure. ABC Television pulled a program for fear of losing access to the royals. There are lots of stories of even the heads of the Foreign Office, intelligence officials going to the palace and being told, just, you know, the Queen isn't interested, and being sent away with a flea in their ear. And I think what became clear to me is that Andrew didn't operate on his own. There was a huge network of people enabling him, not just his staff, but senior officials. I mean, the former heads of UKTI wouldn't talk to me, for example, or the ambassadors in Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan. Now, they clearly know a lot about this. So I'd like to see a parliamentary inquiry to really get to the bottom of what went on with all the files of his time as a trade envoy revealed.
He wants to see everything.
Katie Nicholl, it strikes me a very perilous moment for the monarchy. And I speak as someone who's been covering them for 4 decades. And I remember everything from the death of Diana to the Windsor fires. I mean, there's been lots of things which have been huge stories. But and of course, the whole Charles and Camilla saga. But I can never remember one where the size of the scandal, which has a long way, I think, to still play out, could in itself represent a genuine threat to the monarchy and its ability to survive. I mean, do you fear that, or do you think that it will just blow through like everything else has done?
I don't actually think it's just going to blow over, because I think, you know, whilst many might have thought that this would culminate with Andrew's arrest, actually it feels like this is just the beginning. So I don't think there's any chance that this is going to blow over. As you say, the monarchy has weathered many crises over the decades. But when you hear constitutional historians and experts are likening this to the abdication in terms of the constitutional crisis the monarchy is facing, yes, of course, it is going to be it is a worrying time for them. You only need to take a look at some of the recent polls that have been conducted this month to show that while there is still a high number of people that want to see a monarchy in Britain, that actually amongst the young, they are totally against the idea of a hereditary, unelected monarchy. It's something that they simply don't want, and I think that's the worrying statistic for the monarchy. So, you know, this is a monarchy in, you know, make no mistakes about it, it's a monarchy in crisis, damage, limitation mode, and that palace machine is going to be working overtime to, I think, if anything, try and claw back some of the narrative, because that's the one thing they've lost in all of this. They've lost the narrative here, and that's a worrying place for them to be.
And the king, you know, to remind people,
do you guys think that they've lost the narrative? That's big if they've lost it. Right, Debbie, I agree with you. Andrew made his whole situation worse. Like Meghan, he lies so easily. That's true. HR, hello. I mean, are we going to just pretend about the whole scandal with the UK King Charles and Diana and Nika Mill lady? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Shaka do. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, she did stand.
He's still fighting cancer. He's not been a well man. This is obviously going to put huge pressure on. This is his brother, right? That he is having to deal with here with this enormous scandal. But also, there's a legacy of his late great mother, Queen Elizabeth II, who is coming under increasing examination for protecting allegedly her supposedly favorite son, Andrew. And there are going to be legitimate questions about particularly the payoff, which she is reported to have sanctioned to Virginia Giuffre, who was obviously one of the leading victims in this, who then very tragically took her life last year. But she got a reported payout of at least £12 million, it was said, authorised by the late Queen. There were reports in The Sun a couple of weeks ago that even King Charles may have put some money in. That was denied, although not officially. But it seems to me the paper trail on that payoff and who knew what, where, and when in relation to what Andrew may have been telling the family and so on, that could become really important, because if it looks like the family knew more than they're letting on and conspired to pay this woman off to shut this up, then that's very damaging.
It is very damaging. And I think this is the whole Pandora's box. This is what it's opening up. Of course, late Queen Elizabeth is not here anymore to answer those questions. We don't know how much she knew or not. I remember being told by Lady Elizabeth Anson, her cousin, when I spoke to her, that she had asked Andrew about Giuffre, about what had happened, and believed that Andrew was telling her the truth when he said he was completely innocent. But I think the problem is, if the king had something to do with that payout, and as you say, those reports have not been confirmed, whether he did or did not. The big question is how much did he know? If he knew either about those sexual abuse allegations or any whiff of misconduct while in public office, that's hugely damaging to King Charles and his reign.
Right, but we don't know that he knew that. We've discussed that. We went through that. We don't know if he knew what was going on. And he shouldn't be crucified for his brother's sins. I just believe that.
I think that sort of speculation, because it is only speculation at the moment, is giving rise to a new narrative that's popping up. And I'm being asked about this constantly. Will Charles step aside in all of this and abdicate so that William and Catherine can take over and start a new clean slate? I'm not sure that's going to happen. As another subject altogether. But in terms of this being a pinnacle moment for the monarchy, where it really needs to pivot now, really needs to do something, evolve, which is what it's always done, this feels like a moment that is ripe for that.
Small businesses drive our economy, but securing capital is a constant struggle. There's 36 million small businesses in the United States. Natural order of succession, and at the moment you start tampering with the natural order of succession, which is why they were so enraged as a family by what happened with Edward VIII, is at the moment you start artificially tampering with it, you lay yourself open to nature, right, to stuff happening. As they used to say, you're only one terrorist attack, from King Harry or King Andrew, right? And these are reality checks for the royal family in terms of the succession. But in terms of, I look at the succession list, all right, you've got William, and then you've got two of his kids. But very quickly, you get to Harry, right, married to Meghan. That would be, I think, the beginning of the end of the monarchy. And then you get to Andrew, which would definitely be the end of the monarchy, probably the second it was announced. So it does feel precarious to me, because you've had, obviously, William's wife, Catherine has been very sick with cancer as well. It just felt perilous for a while, this whole succession. Is it perilous by historic standards? And what can we do about these renegades still on the list? Can we get rid of Harry and Andrew? And to be clear, as I've always said, what Andrew is alleged to have done is infinitely worse than anything Harry did. He's just a whining little brat. Andrew is on an altogether different scale of scandal. But, how do we get rid of these people from the succession list?
How do we get rid of them?
Well, I can tackle both of those questions together in terms of how perilous is this historically, and also can we remove them, Harry and Andrew? The fact is it's Parliament's prerogative to do that, which was not always historically the case. So the monarchy in Britain exists because the British Parliament allows it to exist. That's how it works. And Parliament has altered the statute book before to, for example, back in the 18th century, ensure that the monarch was not going to be a Catholic. Exactly. And then in 2013, they altered the succession planning again to prohibit male primogeniture. So that means that females would have just as much right to inherit the throne. So this is Parliament's job. And the way that they do that is a bill which becomes an act, and then of course it gets royal assent, which would technically be the king's doing, even though that is purely ceremonial for now. So it's precarious in a way that it didn't used to be, because it's not actually the monarchy's choice ultimately whether or not that happens. And we've seen the Prime Minister of Australia today, Anthony Albanese, come out saying that he would support removing Andrew from the line of succession. Clearly, as you outlined, if there were to be some unforeseen tragic circumstance where that looked more likely, the monarchy would be in utter peril. And when you have an institution that exists solely based on public trust, it's always about net positive, net negative contribution. And what you've all been saying paints a picture where that is getting less clear.
Yeah. So, Graham Smith, you must be feeling pretty happy right now because the whole point of Republic, the organisation that you lead, is to get rid of the monarchy, and they're pretty well digging the hole for themselves.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, rather than saying happy, I've got to remember, obviously, that a lot of this is on the back of pretty awful allegations, and there are lots of victims involved here, so I wouldn't say happy, but I think angry, like a lot of people are. But I think that, obviously, for me, what this is doing is exposing a lot of the home truths about the monarchy, which I've been talking about for a long time. And, I mean, I pick up on the notion that William might be a clean slate. I mean, he's been an adult member, senior member of the royal family for 20 years now. I think that it strikes me as unlikely that he wasn't always also briefed at some point about what Andrew knew, certainly.
You know what it sounds like, that the people that want him to abdicate is the people that never wanted him to be king in the first place. They wanted William to just go straight to be the king, and the king step aside and give it to William. Yep. They wanted that all along. But they do need to take away their H&M's titles, because look how she's using them. Look how she's as ever in them and stuff.
When the payment was made in 2012, but people would have wanted to know what was going on, what the risks were coming down the line, and I think this is the question which I keep hearing repeated, is what did you know when? And that is being directed at both William and Charles. And William, of course, is very tangentially caught up in the Epstein thing with his apparent association with Abdul Salam, the former now CEO and chair of DP World in the UAE, which is a founding partner of Earthshot, and he's cozying up to these people of somewhat questionable repute in the Middle East, asking them for money, as his father has done on more than one occasion. I think that a lot of people are going to come back to the monarchy for the first time and look at it more critically and start noticing some of these stories that some of us have noticed in the past, like the €3 million in cash, like the allegations of cash for honours, and start probing a lot more. What's also interesting is that a lot of royalists have been saying what we need is more openness and transparency. And I would be very happy if that happened, because they cannot really survive openness and transparency. They've got so many skeletons in the closet. That would be.
So he wants them to come out and spill the beans about who they are as far as a family or a monarchy. Like, never complain, never explain. They have to be held a little bit more accountable. But look, what are they supposed to say? We know just as much as we should know about Andrew and what went on with his arrest and what's to come. You go and you get the information off of YouTube. Come to my channel. That's right, dear. William will restore his grandmother's legacy. King Charles III just isn't up to it. Many in the UK feel the same. Wow. That is interesting, because when he speaks like a king. He sounds like a king. He acts like a king,
Be the end of it. So they are very, very, in very, very perilous terms. Whichever way the Andrew case goes in court, whether it goes to court, whether it doesn't, that's going to cause them damage whichever way it goes. Whether they stay silent, whether they open up, it's going to be incredibly damaging for them.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew.
Good question, dear.
It obviously is incredibly damaging, and we may not even be at the half of it. I mean, more and more stuff is coming out from these Epstein files. We know there are 3 million. Get an insight from you about what you have gleaned, maybe the mental state of Andrew, how he is in himself. He's obviously lost pretty much everything. His wife has gone into hiding. His kids haven't been seen. It's the haunting picture of him coming out of the police station has gone around the world as one of the most shameful images of a royal in history. What are you hearing about him and how he is?
First of all, I think that the photographer, taking a photo like that, I think that is shameful, to be honest. Someone in Andrew's position, having just left, or you're just leaving the police station, and you're obviously hiding from the photographers. Of course, you're going to have a red eye, and it's going to look bad. I mean, for people to be gleefully sort of.
I thought the picture looked like he saw a ghost. He looked scared. He looked frightened. He looked like he just saw a ghost. Yeah, he was in there for 12 hours talking to the police, them telling him that you're in trouble, Andrew.
Of enjoying this purge. I think it's sick. I think it's demented. I think it's deranged. And at what point is this going to stop? Is this going to be like, you know, that girl from Love Island that they went after and she finally killed herself? Do you know what I mean? Like, how far is this going to go?
Well, I do, but I also think my response would be, as a former tabloid newspaper editor, is that the royal family. Oh, well, hang on, let me finish my point. Is that the royal family court the media when it suits them. The whole deal with the media is that the media promotes the royal family and the monarchy in a way that I think sustains their future. Without media coverage, the monarchy would simply disappear and be irrelevant and die. So my point being, well, hang on, you can't turn the tap on and off when it suits you. And frankly, I can't think of a more legitimate reason why the media would photograph a member of the royal family than that a member of the royal family is leaving a police station after being arrested for what could turn out to be treasonous acts of passing business secrets that they gleaned as a trade envoy for the UK government to a convicted paedophile.
Yeah.
So, you know, I won't have any truck with those who say the picture shouldn't have been taken. It might be a haunting image, but the idea no one would take it or publish it is ridiculous.
I just think, you know, the fact that Tobin Andrea, who was at the Daily Mail, who joined the palace, who is head of comms at the palace, I just feel like that is a huge conflict of interest, to be honest, that there's obviously information. Well, there's information being fed. The photographers that were there at 7:30 a.m. The
had nothing to do with Tobin Andrea. Well, hang on.
It was a setup by the Daily Mail.
Okay, but
you know?
Victoria, you're very good at saying stuff. You have to then let me actually counter it with reality. I know Tobin Andrea. He was at the Daily Mail as a senior executive for many years. He's gone to run comms
Since
for the
2022.
palace, for the king. Right, for the king. And there is absolutely zero suggestion that he had anything to do with any of this.
No,
in fact, the photographer who's from Reuters has explained in painstaking detail how he came to be where he was. And it was pure chance that put it this way, if Tobin Andrea from the palace wanted the photographers to get the picture, there'd have been a lot more than one of them there by chance.
Right.
But anyway, like getting back to, you know, because we've now drifted off like from the original questions, and you were saying to me, well, how do you think he's actually feeling? I mean, how do you think he's feeling? You know, at this point, he is literally being crucified, and it has become like a blood sport. You know, I said that on my Twitter the other day, that it feels like a blood sport, and he is being hounded. And like, when is this actually going to stop? You know, no one's actually thinking about, okay, what is his mental health right now? The facts are, Virginia Giuffre, so this is completely separate. Obviously, this has nothing to do with the sex scandal that he was accused of, that nothing was ever proven. This is, you know, more serious. Peter Mann.
Victoria, you sound like a bubbling idiot. What about the victims' mental health? What about what they went through? What about what they continue to go through? You know, she just sounds like, yeah, I'm with you to love. I'm with you, Marine. Yes. That's right. It's all gone wrong. Don't nobody care about what he feels like. We don't care about what you feel like and what you're going through and what's going on with you, Andrew. She sounds like an idiot. A bubbling one. Bubble-a-doo.
Peter Mandelson's role, though, was way higher. Andrew was actually not even an official diplomat. You know, it was more a sort of it was a role that he took on, but it wasn't official. I think it's a huge distraction. Wait one second. Let me talk.
Hello, welcome in, everyone. I have 106 people viewing, and I appreciate your views. Can you please hit that subscribe button for me? I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 6,500 and I don't have that much to go. So if you could please hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Pushes me into the algorithm.
Wait a minute.
This was a huge distraction from Keir Starmer and Peter Mandelson.
Victoria,
there she go.
Victoria, you can't say these things without correction. He was an official government trade envoy. He may not have been a member of the British cabinet like Mandelson, but he was an official trade envoy. And I think that's the key part.
But not in a hugely official capacity like Mandelson.
Well, you're either official.
Different.
Well, you're right.
But
well,
don't you think this is a huge distraction from Keir Starmer right now?
No, I don't. I don't think it's got nothing to do with it. But Bianca, from that point, I mean, to me, Mandelson and Andrew I don't know why we call one by a surname, one by the other.
We'll just call him Prince Andrew
it's
because
what
the
it is.
Mountbatten thing is way too long.
Well, he's not Prince Andrew anymore,
Well,
so let's
he'll
call him
always be
Mountbatten
Prince
Windsor.
Andrew.
Well, he won't always be Prince Andrew because he's no longer Prince Andrew. That's
Piers
the point.
Morgan, what's your real name? You're not called Piers Morgan, are you? So, you know.
Well, if you want to know. Well, if you want to know my full surname, it's Pew Morgan, double-barreled. I dropped the Pew when I became a journalist because I got more bylines without it.
Right.
But I still have that.
He's not Prince no more, Victoria. Let it go. Let it go, Victoria. Let it go.
I still have that my passport.
But I think it's just easier to call him Prince Andrew, you know.
But he's not. You know, he literally has had the word Prince removed from his titles. That's the whole
with
point.
that name, like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's no longer a prince. You may want him to be. He's not a prince. Let me bring in Bianca here. I mean, look, I'm not the entire figure there, right?
He's not a prince.
Well, yes, Victoria, I'll come back to you, but you're part of a 4-person panel.
Hello, Victoria.
So if you can show some respect to your fellow.
Are you? So, you know.
Well, if you want to know. Well, if you want to know my full surname, it's Pew Morgan, double-barreled. I dropped the Pew when I became a journalist because I got more bylines without it.
Right.
But I still have that on my passport. I still have that on my passport.
But I think it's just easier to call him Prince Andrew, you know.
But he's not. You know, he literally has had the word Prince removed from his titles. That's the whole
with
point.
that name, like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's no longer a prince. You may want him to be. He's not a prince. Let me bring in Bianca here. I mean, look, I'm not the entire figure there, right? He's had. Well, yes, Victoria, I'll come back to you, but you're part of a 4.
She's like a kid to me. She's like a kid. What's going on with the news? Hold on.
4-person panel. So if you could show some respect to your fellow panel members. And just to remind you, if you do say outlandish things, I'm going to challenge them. So it's up to you. Bianca, in terms of Andrew's titles, he has no titles, right? They're all gone.
Yeah, and I'll keep it brief. But on the point of the trade envoy and whether or not that's an official position, yes, it was. He was the UK representative for trade and investment for about a decade, often referred to as a trade envoy. And one of the sticking points with this is that, given what Andrew Lowney said about national security and potential risk there, you have typically diplomats or people who work in these roles have gone through intense vetting. They've also designed their professional careers so that this is what they're doing and this is what they're prepared for. And then you have members of the royal family who may not know exactly how to behave, may know how to behave and decide not to behave that way, that are afforded somewhat similar levels of access to influential and important people. So you can see how this throws up another question in an egalitarian modern society about, well, who should have access to these figures if they're working on behalf of us, the people?
Yeah, and Graham Smith, I mean, you know, if you ask me which of the stories in the last few days is almost guaranteed to speed up a whiff of republicanism, it would be the Sun story that royal servants at his reduced but still luxurious home on the Sandringham estate have been told to keep addressing Andrew as Sir. I mean, why on earth would anyone call him Sir?
Sir.
Well, I mean, I don't know that is necessarily going to be the key thing. I think that there is very serious issues here, which is touching on what was just said about access to confidential information, because Charles and William have complete access to every cabinet paper that goes through the cabinet office, regardless of what it is, what it might say, what information they might have. That is written into the cabinet manual. And it's something which caused some consternation about, I think, 10 years ago when we revealed this in the press. It hasn't changed. Now, we know that royals from their fairly ham-fisted tour of the Caribbean back in 2022 are not the greatest of diplomats at the best of times, and they're not trained, they're not controlled or scrutinized. So there's a whole load of information floating around. And as I said, they've got some fairly questionable friends. And you have to wonder whether any of this information is wittingly or unwittingly being passed along by other royals. So this is why we need proper openness and scrutiny. And the notion that, you know, the Congresswoman suggested this might do well for Charles. This is going to open up a lot of questions for Charles as well, and William. And we do need to know what these secret documents are being, you know, shared, or who's getting them, whether they're being shared with other people, and why they're being allowed that kind of access. You know, there simply is no justification. There are cabinet ministers that don't get everything through the.
It was used incredibly sparingly, but is this the?
He is the person in whose name justice is done. And from there, obviously, trickles certain expectations of judgment and behaviour. Not that this is something people in Britain think about day to day, but it is really significant that he can't be prosecuted.
Right, it is. Katie, some people think the king should make some kind of public address to the nation. Worth remembering that the Queen, his mother, made, I think, 4 in her entire 7-decade reign. When Diana died, I think she made one after the Iraq War, I think after the Windsor fire, and there was one other. But I mean, it was
the one that she made in COVID. During COVID, she made a very powerful.
And during COVID,
You're right,
I think they would. It was used
too.
incredibly sparingly. But is this the kind of thing where he should, do you think, get on the front foot and speak to the people?
He did.
I think he got on the front foot last week and issued that statement in the nick of time. I think there's a sense that he's just about ahead of the curve, but perhaps I think the titles being stripped came too late, but they've learned from that and they are ahead of the curve. I think perhaps it might be premature for the king to come out and say anything at the moment, but I think once this police investigation is concluded, I don't see how the king can't give
it's a bit of a non-statement, really.
Well, listen, Graham, he was limited in what he could say because it is now part of a police investigation. But I think, in perhaps under Elizabeth's reign, we wouldn't have heard anything at all. I think it was very important that we did hear for the king, but obviously limited in terms of what he can say because it is an ongoing police investigation. But so yes, to answer your question, Piers, I think we will hear from the king again, but I think it will be carefully timed. And I just wanted to pick up something very quickly, Graham, that you mentioned about the royals. I don't want to misquote you, but essentially saying that they weren't particularly good diplomats. And I think, yes, you use Andrew as an example of that, and it's clearly obvious that he feathered his own nest and abused it. But I think it's also worth making the point, and Piers, you mentioned the upcoming trip to the States. What we do see the royals do, which politicians simply can't, is that soft power diplomacy. And I would argue that they are very good at that. You get the king with Trump getting things over the line that no politician with all the will in the world could do. So I don't think that's supportable by evidence.
I don't think it is. The examples I cited were the 2 Caribbean tours in 2022, which is William and Kate.
Charlie.
I have a lot.
Hang on. Let me ask you a question. Yeah, the way this works is I ask you questions. Okay. But
with him, even though he's my brother, that was his problem. And now that he's dead, it's not his problem anymore. So again, unfortunately, I really don't care, to be honest with you. I'm just concerned that my brother, whoever and whatever he was murdered. That's my concern.
But you care about the victims, I presume, of your brother.
These are the questions I don't get into. Have a good day.
Oh.
Epstein's brother. What is life for you like as the brother of perhaps the most notorious person in America?
Well, my life is fine. I'm just getting a lot more calls from journalists and ask for these kind of interviews. And I've told people I only talk about Jeffrey's death because I found that when I answer questions about anything else in the files, whatever I say gets misconstrued to fit somebody's agenda. So I no longer answer questions about the things in the files, which I really, to be honest, don't care about. I wasn't part of any of that. I'm not named in anything. And, and if anyone's in the files of something that's supposed to be getting into trouble for something, I have nothing to do with that. That's their problem, not mine. I don't want to be cold about it, but I have my own life. Look, trust me, it would have been a lot easier for me if I thought Jeffrey committed suicide. I could have then, mourned my brother and went on with my life. But instead,
but when you say, yeah, sure. But when you say you don't care about the files, I mean, I presume you mean because you're not directly accused of wrongdoing in them, which is completely correct, and you shouldn't have to justify something that doesn't involve you. However, your brother is obviously, there's so much stuff in these files which exposes him as an appalling human being. My question for you would be, how much of this is new to you? I mean, do you even recognize
like I said,
what you're seeing from your brother?
Jeffrey and I were not, I didn't see him for 7 years before he died, although we were always in communication with phones and emails. So I didn't know what he was up to. A lot of the stuff that's come out is surprising to me. I wasn't aware of a lot of this stuff. And I'm going to say, like, with him, even though he's my brother, that was his problem. And now that he's dead, it's not his problem anymore. So again, unfortunately, I really don't care, to be honest with you. I'm just concerned that my brother, whoever and whatever he was murdered. That's my concern.
But you care about the victims, I presume, of your brother.
These are the questions I don't get into. Have a good day.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, extraordinary. Not a difficult question to answer. Let me come back to Victoria Harvey. I mean, in a way, his response is not entirely.
I have a lot.
Hang on. Let me ask you a question. Yeah, the way this works is I ask you questions. Okay. But in a way, I don't think you care particularly about.
So let me tell you.
Well, hang on. Let me finish. Please let me ask you a question.
You asked me,
and my question is this. Well, because I haven't asked you a question. So the way this works is I host.
No.
I have people on the panel. I ask you a question, and then you answer. If you want to jump in before the question's asked, it doesn't work. Okay. Here's my question for you. Mark Epstein has just hung up because I had the audacity to ask him if he cares about the victims of his brother. It's a pretty telling, shocking moment, frankly. The least he can do is say, yeah, of course I do. But he couldn't bring himself to do it for whatever reason. And he can live with his answer. In your case, the one thing I'd say, I've known you a long time, right? We've always got on well. But I really felt a while ago, you went down a path with these victims of Epstein where you just decided none of it was true. It was all a witch hunt, all a stitch up. Andrew was completely innocent. And in Virginia Giuffre's case in particular, you've been so scathing about her. And you specifically said the picture of her with Andrew was fake. She never had sex with him. It's all lies. Just on those 2 points alone, we now know from the files 2 things. One, the picture is genuine, confirmed by Ghislaine Maxwell in the files. And secondly, it's confirmed that they had a sexual relationship. That is confirmed in correspondence involving Jeffrey Epstein. So on those two significant points alone, has this not given you pause for thought?
So
that you might just be backing the wrong horse here.
Okay, can I start calmly?
Yeah.
Right. So I absolutely, if for any real victims out there, I have a huge sympathy for any real victims. The problem is, when I started looking into the case, I found that the main girls that were escalated into the media by the lawyers were not real victims. And this is where I had my issue about it. Now, Virginia Giuffre, she recanted her story on multiple people, Harvard professor, Alan Dershowitz, there was even the granddaughter of Jacques Cousteau that had never met her. She made up a lot of stories. She got busted. She then changed her stories and she said, oh, no, I never went to New Mexico with Prince Andrew, when she had given graphic information and talked about horse rides and drinking champagne. And then she said, oh, it never happened. Now, that is one of the reasons I never believe Virginia, because there was just so much information out there.
Victoria, here's the problem.
I come with you with facts.
Let me finish my point.
And you do not have the facts.
Fine, you don't have facts. Let me just put to you this. Virginia Giuffre in that picture with Andrew was 17 years old.
It's not a real photo,
right?
Piers. Come on.
It is a real photo. Ghislaine Maxwell confirmed it.
We had
Piers,
1 second.
It's confirmed.
We had this conversation 2 weeks ago, and I said that was a draft statement done by her PR, and it was never used.
This is the problem, though. This is the problem. You're not going to believe anything that disproves your bonkers theory.
Why would
that this is all some great stitch up?
Listen to me 1 second. Why would Ghislaine lie to the DOJ? Ghislaine told the DOJ and in that prison interview there are over 50 things wrong with that photo. Why would she lie to the DOJ when she's trying to get out of jail? She's not going to do that.
We've literally seen in their own words in the files the picture's genuine and that they had a sexual relationship. But you still have your blinkers on. You don't want to believe it. And my advice to you is there's going to be a point with this where you have to stop trashing these victims. I'm just giving you some advice. As someone who's known you a long time, victim trashing in this and protecting the villains, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Andrew, whether it's whatever, there comes a point when reality has to hit fantasy world. And I think
Virginia was a fake victim.
Right, she wasn't a fake victim.
She was a fake victim.
And the way you go after, I find repellent. All right, let me just turn to Bianca quickly, because History Uncensored they had a sexual relationship. You still have your blinkers on. You don't want to believe it. And my advice to you is there's going to be a point with this where you have to stop trashing these victims. I'm just giving you some advice. As someone who's known you a long time, victim trashing in this and protecting the villains, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Andrew, whether it's whatever, there comes a point when reality has to hit fantasy world. And I think
Virginia was a fake victim.
Right, she wasn't a fake victim.
She was a fake
victim. And the way you go after, I find repellent.
Hello, Chad. She is really defending him. Like she has. Who is she trying to convince? I mean, it's interesting. It's blows my mind every time when he talks to her because she's oblivious.
Okay, so the one thing I'd say, I've known you a long time, right? We've always got on well. But I really felt a while ago you went down a path with these victims of Epstein, where you just decided none of it was true. It was all a witch hunt, all a stitch up. Andrew was completely innocent. And in Virginia Giuffre's case in particular, you've been so scathing about her. And you specifically said the picture of her with Andrew was fake. She never had sex with him. It's all lies. Just on those 2 points alone, we now know from the files 2 things. One, the picture is genuine, confirmed by Ghislaine Maxwell in the files. And secondly, it's confirmed that they had a sexual relationship. That is confirmed in correspondence involving Jeffrey Epstein. So on those 2 significant points alone, has this not given you pause for thought?
So
that you might just be backing the wrong horse here.
Okay, can I start calmly?
Yeah.
Right. So I absolutely, if for any real victims out there, I have a huge sympathy for any real victims. The problem is, when I started looking into the case, I found that the main girls that were escalated into the media by the lawyers were not real victims. And this is where I had my issue about it. Now, Virginia Giuffre, she recanted her story on multiple people, Harvard professor, Alan Dershowitz, There was even the granddaughter of Jacques Cousteau that had never met her. She made up a lot of stories. She got busted. She then changed her stories and she said, oh, no, I never went to New Mexico with Prince Andrew, when she had given graphic information and talked about horse rides and drinking champagne. And then she said, oh, it never happened. Now, that is one of the reasons I never believe Virginia, because there was just so much information out there.
Victoria, here's the problem.
I come with facts.
Let me finish my point.
And you do not have the facts.
Fine, you don't have facts. You don't have facts. Let me just put to you this. Virginia Giuffre in that picture with Andrew was 17 years old.
It's not a real photo,
right?
Piers. Come on.
It is a real photo. Ghislaine Maxwell confirmed
No,
it.
we had Piers, 1 second.
It's confirmed.
We had this conversation 2 weeks ago, and I said that was a draft statement done by her PR, and it was never used.
This is the problem, though. This is the problem. You're not going to believe. You're not going to believe anything that disproves your bonkers theory.
Why would
that this is all some great stitch up.
Listen to me 1 second. Why would Ghislaine lie to the DOJ? Ghislaine told the DOJ and in that prison interview there are over 50 things wrong with that photo. Why would she lie to the DOJ when she's trying to get out of jail? She's not going to do that.
We've literally seen in their own words in the files the picture's genuine, and that they had a sexual relationship.
Listen.
You still have your blinkers on.
Okay.
You don't want to
I know
believe
the
it.
photo's
And
not real.
my advice to you is there's going to be a point with this where you have to stop trashing these victims.
I'm
just giving you some advice. As someone who's known you a long time, victim trashing in this and protecting the villains, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Andrew, whether it's whatever, there comes a point when reality has to hit fantasy world. And I think we've hit that
Virginia was
point.
a fake
Andrew's
victim.
Right, she wasn't a fake victim.
She was a fake
And the way
victim.
you go after, I find repellent. All right, let me just turn to Bianca quickly, because History Uncensored is going great guns. You did a big royal special last week with Tom Bauer, which was going to be a point with this where you have to stop trashing these victims. I'm just giving you some advice. As someone who's known you a long time.
She is a mess. She looks a mess. She looks really goofy for trying to protect Andrew and then say that Virginia's not a victim. It's really weird to hear. Titanic tonight, maybe it'll be late once I get a little bit down for bed. But if you guys want to do it, we can do Titanic again. There are some stories that I want to play that shows what happened after the Titanic and how they had to go back and try to get these people out of the water and stuff like that. So I would definitely do a Titanic again tonight, Doodoo Bird, if you would like that. Honey, you just let me know when you're ready. Okay.
Victim trashing in this and protecting the villains, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Andrew, whether it's whatever, there comes a point when reality has to hit fantasy world. And I think
Virginia was a fake victim.
Right, she wasn't a fake victim.
She was a fake
And the way
victim.
you go after, I find repellent. All right, let me just turn to Bianca quickly, because History Uncensored is going great guns. You did a big royal special last week with Tom Bauer, which was extremely well watched. You've got a new episode dropping. What is it?
Later in the week, we'll have a deeper dive into royal scandal. And actually, I'd been thinking at the end of that conversation there that so much of this revolves around the sexy scroll-stopping term of a social contract, that we expect moral standards from royals in return for them maintaining this position. And that's what gives Britain its soft power around the world. That's what elevates the perception of Britain's royal family. And if that is in crisis, then it's severely detrimental to the British Constitution today. Yeah, exactly. And I think actually a really important point there, Piers, is the fact that there's been some research that suggests that countries with a head of state that isn't also head of government, so America being an example of that, of course, where Donald Trump is both, that they have more stability because people within that country associate their national identity not solely with a party, but with something that can supersede that. So if you have a monarchy, in theory, if you support the monarchy and you support that, it's a cultural reference point that people share. But as that degrades and becomes no longer the case, and situations like this corrode that, you get into a very dangerous, precarious position where there isn't really mass consensus over the kind of state and constitution that you have. So we'll be getting into
look forward to the deep dive. History Uncensored has its own accounts on Instagram and X and pretty much everywhere else where you can follow Bianca. But certainly look at History Uncensored and subscribe. And
Okay, lovely people. I've been on here 3.5 hours. I want to thank you so much for joining and hanging out with me. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and get me at, oh, I made it. Yay! Celebrate. Come on, celebrate. Hello, Janine. Celebrate. Come on. Come on. Celebrate. We have got to come together. Celebrate. 6,500 subscribers. My goal is 7,000 by the end of this year. So I'm hoping that we get there. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. You might have been the one that pushed me on over to 650. 6,500. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so cool to see that number go up. Guys, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, Polly, 6.5. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to come back and do Titanic, or we'll do a story, one of the two. Okay? Kisses. Have a wonderful, wonderful one.